Hello everyone, Connor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the hedges, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull. How's you going, guys? You're listening to the Agri Automotive Pod by ourselves, Limited Slip Differences, your perfect blend of cars, tractors, and everything in between. I'm Connor.
And I am Michael.
No Adam.
No Adam. Why do we have no Adam?
I don't know. Don't actually know.
Yeah, neither do I. Because he's free in the morning.
To be fair, you're also listening to episode
64. Isn't it?
I don't know.
No, I think it's 64. Fucking maybe 64. We're committed now. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do
63 or 64.
I'm going to have to do like a Microsoft Sam, like edit every time we say 63. It goes 64. Yeah. I've had to do something like that before.
Well, to be fair, like, you wouldn't be great at replying at times, you know.
My phone doesn't stop at the minute. It's unreal.
No, don't blame that, but like, it's funny.
Oh, you sent me a snap. My phone doesn't tell me when I get Snapchats. Honestly, I have to go through periodically once.
Okay, I'm not.
But like, well, for anybody else that's listening, like, I would consciously go on and do my streaks in the morning, but then I look through and I see like Park Leonard sent me a Snapchat 6 days ago. Darn Finnerty's another one, and I'm like, shit, I forgot to reply to that. Reese as well, like.
Oh,
Reese
I'm way worse than
Reese will send me a message on the Saturday, and then I'll open the message on the Thursday, because every day I'm just sending through a streak, and then I'm like, oh shit.
But I'm not a big Snapchatter.
Depends on, there's certain people like I would only talk to in Snapchat, like Darren Millen and me only speaking Snapchat, Ali and me only speaking Snapchat. Like, it's just depends. Like,
well, I suppose Sean Ward may only speak on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Conor McLaren at the start, meaning like him only spoke on Snapchat, and then I try to take it to WhatsApp because
sort of easier to.
I hate. Well, it's not that I hate using Snapchat. I just don't ever use it.
I actually quite like Snapchat, but my phone doesn't tell me when I get Snapchat.
You have to just look at your notifications then, if that's the case.
Well, loads of them. My phone has so many. I'm not saying I'm a popular person. I'm just saying I've got like everything coming through.
No, I know what you mean.
You probably do too. I'm just not good at.
Well, like
organising.
You have, and I was conscious of it. So you've obviously your Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. Your own personal ones. Mm-hmm. Then you have the podcast ones. Mm-hmm. And then you now have the other app you told us about. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm afraid to turn all them notifications off on the phone because they turn them all off on you. But then I'm like, no, but they'll be notified through the other app that does the Instagram and the Facebook itself.
I've met her for business.
Aye.
Great job. It's become so much better because it just replies to everything. You can reply to everything. I never replied to stuff on the page's Facebook because it always felt hard to use. And like the newsfeed never worked right, and
well, it's not even that for me. It's just the fact that I will say one thing about an Android phone over an iPhone: the notifications and the way they're actually displayed. Not there. Obviously, you flick down from the top. Mm-hmm. They're sort of half grouped for you in that. You know,
occasionally
they're better managed. Whereas on an iPhone, you flick up from the bottom, and it's just I mean, like fucking, you could be scrolling for a minute or two, and to be honest with you, a lot of times just clear.
Aye, we'll see. The problem,
you know, because they're all individual. Like, you could obviously be getting now with a farm at home. Like,
you'll probably get fucking notifications from Dairy Master flat out as well.
Well, like so they changed the actual callers app went from Moo Monitor Plus to Dairy View 360.
Okay.
Which is an app they're building, so everything's going to be in the cloud.
Yes.
So your actual milking part of software will eventually be on that too.
Great idea.
And it is like they've went from a 10-year-old app that would have suited people 10 years ago.
Yes.
Which is fair enough. Till a modern day one. So like before,
they probably had a modernised though. Like,
yeah, you went into it. Say an individual cow, you could have added like, you know, an AI event or edited the cow, or you could have added like a normal insemin, like a bull serving the cow event and all that crack. Whereas now you can go in, you go to all the different events and see whenever she's like due for being dried off. Mm-hmm. Or the very simple, but you know, it took a minute or two to get onto it. I think there was an information evening via TeamViewer or something, but at that stage I had got onto the app, so I was like, I don't even need to bother. But eventually that's the way. So yes, you get your DM notifications. like obviously your family and that crack. So like I'll actually go into WhatsApp, and obviously because everyone's handy to get through. Whereas I'm not gonna lie, like I do just send my streaks and Snapchat in the morning.
Aye, Snapchat can be a wee bit awkward to navigate too, like.
And whenever you go into it, like there's a couple of group chats, and you'd be overwhelmed with the amount of stuff in them.
Oh, the group chats, forget about it. My group chats are sitting 4 weeks behind.
I have to see.
Like,
you know,
well, there's one of them because it's useful for looking for parts. It's the ones like all the rear wheel drive boys.
Oh, I know what one you're on
like
about.
head for the hills. It's grand. I'm more up to date than that. But
Do people by accident ring on it?
Occasionally, aye.
I've seen that.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. I don't know even if it's being by accident. There's a couple of ones in there I wouldn't be surprised if they're just doing it being win. Like,
They probably do it more often.
You know
like
who you are, boys. You know who you are.
I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted to go out of it because
it's fucking some crack.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a rear steer.
Possibly, I kept you in it just to keep you informed if anything was ever going down for any of the rallies and stuff. But it's mainly just them all out drinking.
Tea.
Aye. I didn't say they were driving. It just seems that.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
They seem to be partying, like,
you know,
fair
like,
play. Jealous.
To
be young again.
Oh, don't even talk. Shock of the weekend. Talking to Dylan Jackson.
Yeah. Aye, he's like, I think Dylan's what, 19 or 20?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where I went, I'm 12 years older than you.
Oh, aye, you were at secondary school when he was born, like. You know, like.
And I'm like, what?
You had your first year exams and all done before that man was even out of the womb, like.
He was cooking and I was learning about algebra.
Aye. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was an eye opener.
That's like a lot of listeners, to be honest.
Like there's a thing like
even Hugh's not that old.
Like took a random look in Auto Trader, you know, like just nosing at stupid stuff, this, that, and the other, and like it's funny. A 6-hour polo would have obviously been fresh whenever we were to learn about it at the start, and seen one. And to be honest with you, if it's genuine, it would be a pure bargain.
Mm-hmm.
For the money and all, and the mileage and all it was, and it was over here. It wasn't even in England. And then I came in. I think I said to some of our ones, you know, like I don't know if the younger ones and that there with cars and stuff, and they just went, "That's a 15-year-old car," and I went,
"Yeah." So I have this existential crisis quite a lot.
I'm like, I never even thought about it that way.
See,
whenever we were starting, a 15-year-old car would have been a fucking E36.
Yeah, so like
that is mind blowing.
Yeah. So when we started driving,
Mark III, I'd be like saying, "I found you a way to clean Mark III Golf."
But when we started driving, like if someone was driving in a Mark VI, it was like from, you know, like still game where they go, "Ooh," they got there. Like that's what like.
Did they ever do that?
Do you ever seen Still Game, the Scottish TV show?
No.
Oh no, right. It's a Scottish TV show, and anytime anybody ever says anything half fancy, like everyone just mocks them by doing this here. They put their hands inside their cheeks and then waggle their fingers. It's so funny. I've just been watching compilations of that, to be honest. So whenever I see like an R plate now in a Mark VI Golf, the first thought that comes into my head is someone's doing alright. Only to then remember
not now though.
No, still
a Mark 7, wee bit.
But a Mark 7 again, still 12-year-old car. And like so whenever I started driving, a 12-year-old car was the first of the Mark 4s, the non-PDs. Like 1999, like the wire.
Were they non-PDs?
I think maybe.
I thought the Mark 4 was the introduction of the PD.
No, you get non-PD.
And the Mark 5 was the finish of the PD.
Aye, but you get non-PD Boros as well. You get 90s and 110s.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
what were they? What did they be called?
The 90s and the 110s.
But what I mean is, you know, the way you talk about a PD engine, and then you talk about the common rail engine. What were they?
They were like
a manual pump.
Kinda, you could do the every mod to them.
They're a manual pump.
Yeah, well, electric. It's kind of like a TDS to an extent. Yeah. So obviously the wee potentiometer, because that's what do you call your man? Maitland.
Maitland maps.
Yes, but he originally, there's a video of him on YouTube. Nearly sure it's him, of Navy Toledo with like bright lime green RS6s, and him showing the every mod that he's put on her. So you hear the car, and then you see him going on and turning the wee knob. It's record it literally on a potato like this video, but and then you just see the boom, 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 the lumpy right up. So yeah, that was whenever he first started.
My mind's turned into a fucking lumpy idol trying to think about that.
So there, yeah, you got the 90 sure Taylor Woods. Her first Bora was a non-PD. I'm near sure. Yeah, you got non-PDs and 110s. Should
we start and talk about our big jaunt doing the country?
So for anyone who's listened to the podcast, you probably haven't really heard us talk much about it. But then there was a 5-week hiatus from the podcast. So
plus there was a lot of things. Obviously, people are probably wondering, is Connor taking the Massey? I now can confirm there's a small chance of me taking a Massey, but there's a large chance of me driving a Blue.
So, where do you want to start from? Well, explain the whole thing. I suppose the first most important thing we should say is, if you haven't seen any of our socials, I'd be surprised if you haven't, but if you haven't seen any of our socials, Connor and myself are doing, and there's a midgie has went into my nose, and I'm fucking scratching. Oh my god. There's Connor and myself are doing a charity run from my house here. Actually it's my mum's house. I don't even live here.
Well, you can live here.
I can live here, but yeah.
Well, you still call it your house, and you call your other house.
This is home, So, yeah, we're leaving from here, so just outside Portlanone.
To go on our Hollybobs.
To
Hollybobs, not Hollybobs.
Vintage Silage Festival in County Cork. It's on the 3rd of August. We are leaving here, hopefully around 4:30 on the 1st of August. Did I mention it was from Cury?
No.
Oh, it's from Cury. I'll let Connor speak.
So, a little bit of backstory, because probably some people are going, it's kind of a random thing to do, but anyway, so we'll wind back near enough 12 months. Me and Michael got down to Waterford and Cork.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we were going down to record with a couple of folk. I got down for the weekend, all was grand. Then it was eventually we would culminate and go to Jeremy Holmes' place.
Yes.
What I was told was we'd be putting in silage there.
We did.
I was told we would be putting in silage there. You get to meet Jeremy. No, this is the thing. Michael tells you stuff, but that is a 10% of the stuff that he's meant to tell you. But anyway, so then that would culminate, and we would then go into a whole vintage day and see the whole crack, see the spectacle and all that it is. So that was grand. We arrived down. Number one, what I found out was silage was not conventional silage, it was 70s silage. Well, 80s silage with double chop. Then when I was down there, I found out it was going to see the show to being in the show. And I was like, huh? Then after that,
I didn't actually know if we'd be in it either, to be fair.
Oh, I'm not saying none of that, but I'm just going to say from the rough POV. Because you ramble on a bit too much, and we could be here for the next hour trying to explain this, so I'm just trying to go through the motions. So that was the crack. Then what happened was we got up to the top field, we got 20 metres cut, a wee bit of claimant into it as well, because that double chop was set way too low. The shaft was slightly off, not fully straight, and shaft went kaboom.
Yeah.
Connor got the fright of his life. Yes, I'm talking to myself in third person, but it works. Michael laughed.
Yeah.
Jeremy went, fuck it, be grand.
Ah, sure, fuck it, be grand.
Then, if anybody's seen her TikTok, which I can't even make out.
I don't even know what he said.
I think it was just, yeah, whatever. So then, that night, Michael, Jeremy, after getting a chippy in the local town or village or hamlet, whatever you want to call it, Michael and Jeremy footed about, fixed up the double chop so it could go down to the actual vintage silage day. I went to my bed. We got up the following morning, got down to it. I think it was around lunchtime we got there. The first field finished and they were on to the second field. So
why did we land down late? We were still trying to fix.
We were trying to fix.
We were trying to fix stuff, but we'd fixed the majority of that the night beforehand. We were trying to finish off the NC, and then by the time so I drove down first, then you needed to come back and get me, and then we had to go down again. So in the second run down,
so there was that many things running. Yep.
Yeah.
So then we'll fast forward a wee bit. Great day. Michael got to see the 18090s.
That's literally the reason why I wanted to go in the first place.
Excuse me. You fulfilled your dream of seeing. I had never seen it. No, I had seen a 18090, but not in them sort of colours. Not. It was a very cool day. Then it got to, I think, 6 o'clock. We had a chat with Gareth Galt from Grassman and
It's me, you,
with Mark Troy.
it was me,
we had a bit of a
you,
yarn there.
Jeremy, Gareth, and Mark Troy.
Then,
very surreal.
But basically, the case of like, you know, they'll never think, well, possibly never think that they could make people starstruck. But it's the sort of thing that if you've watched them whenever you're younger and that, you've seen the videos.
You think Green Fever, like,
yeah, you can't not think be a wee bit starstruck.
Yeah.
So, on the way home then, I think we hadn't even got out of Cork, and you were like, you know, I'd love to take my 110 down there on the Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, aye.
Good man.
No, that
Keep driving.
Shut up. Good. That's a great idea. Then a few months passed. I'm still thinking about bringing the 110 down. Not a wee bit past.
Connor going, yep, good man. Just you. Yep, shut up. Keep recording.
Literally. Then we get to about January, February time. My remodel show. Then you get conversation with Gareth Galt.
That's where it all kind of started.
And he was like, "Fucking love that idea."
Can I take over again?
You can take over in this bit of time now, and I'll butt in if I need to say anything.
Yes.
Go on ahead.
So, yeah, because this is where it all really kind of started to come together. So, we talked at Moira for quite a while, and then it was kind of more like, still thinking about it. It was like, how would I do it? And then, because Gareth had originally said, oh, you know, if you wanted to, you can take it down my fast track. And I was like, oh, fuck, like, he was like, borrow my fast track, load on the low loader, I don't care, just washer.
I was like, that's actually really cool. No, that's class.
But then I was like, I don't really want to drive someone else's tractor.
That's exactly the word you said to me.
They go fast, and I'd be scared that I would get used to the speed and then very quickly not be used to driving the tractor. So 50k or 50 mile an hour could result in
4220 would do about a near 40.
Sort of had a crack over at the laptop there. Yeah. Look, it's faster than I've ever driven a tractor. I mean, I've driven a 50k tractor like once in my life, and yeah. So anyway, got to Dubshed, chatting to Gareth again, and I said, we just, while the awards were on, Gareth was down with Duncan, and I was chatting to him for a while then, and he was like, well, what are you thinking? And I was like, I'm thinking maybe driving the tractor down. And he said, would you make like a full thing of it? I went, don't know, have a heap of weddings this year, I travel a lot for work. Like the last month, I've been away 75% of the time. So, like, hard to get time off, etc. And he said, would it not be class? So if, you know, you were coming down and you pulled into Daily Agri and got a video with Sean Collins and all following you up, like, I would make such good video. And I was like, well, fuck, if you're thinking of videoing it, now we're talking a different story. So I kind of thought about it a bit more. Gareth's like, look, I think that's absolutely class, we'll sponsor you. I went, right. And then it was like, okay, this is starting to gain momentum. And then originally I thought, was it just going to be me and you going down in the 110? Were you going to drive?
So I'd pick on here
jump
then.
You back in again?
So essentially Michael came to me after Dubshed and you had said that you had had a chat with Gareth, and I was like,
you were sceptical to start, like.
I was like, holy fuck, wow. Look, I want anybody that listens to just take us in a bit. Like, when we started doing the podcast, that first 2 or 3 weeks we were like, you know, where could this ever go? Like, you know, getting the likes of Farm Flicks to even know us, or Grassman, Drift Games, anybody to know you're like, maybe down the road, like you never know where this could take it. Then at that moment I was like, geez, we actually sort of have to maybe shake ourselves here, because this is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Then you went to me, look, more or less you've had the conversation with Gareth, can I go? And I went, well, naturally you'd be wanting to take the 6.7. 1.5S down. I'd go behind you. You're obviously going to be a bit slower, but that's that. Don't have a size trailer though. And
I mean, I have a second size trailer. My original thinking was you maybe take Jonathan Crest 390T.
That was also a thought coming in your head.
And because I have the wee mini Fraser for it.
Then the other thing is, I suppose, naturally I'm like, well, if I was taking like a 6.7, you'd want something like an 18 foot or 13 ton trailer, or something that is sizable too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so conversation first of all was like, you know, if I can get away for a few days from home and that. And then I think a wee while had passed, and it sort of either daunted in the both of us. And, you know, I suppose a landmark anniversaries were happening this year.
Yes.
So your father...
My dad's dead 20 years this year.
Is it in May?
May
so
13th.
We sort of did the thing where it's like, oh...
Well, then your mother's passed away 10 years this year
My
too.
mother has passed away 10 years.
So
your father has passed away 20 years. So
yeah.
Essentially...
both the cancer.
Now, I know there had been talk about, some of the family members thinking, maybe doing something for charity. And then you had thought about the whole thing of charity. And it was more or less just if I get the time off. Now, I unfortunately took an extremely bad flu the week after Easter Sunday. And Jenna was more or less forcing her hand. Like, I basically was like, I'm down out here.
It was the week after Easter, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, it worked on, like, Michael's at me to be able to do this here. I don't know if I'd get away for that. Obviously, the 3 or 4 days, it'd be hard. And then she went, look, if you're doing it for charity, it's something really cool, she would help out. So then it was a case of, what am I going to drive?
Yes.
And then with your conversation with Gareth, I went, I wonder would Gareth, obviously he has lots of tractors and trailers with the business, you know, building up and doing his own things and that. I wonder would I be able to lend one of Gareth's tractors and trailers. So then things got sort of at home. I was going to be able to get away for the few days. Brother is going to help me out there, and message Gareth. Gareth originally said about the...
He said 6290, didn't he?
6290.
Well, he has you down as a massive man.
As a massive man, yes. But if anybody really knows me, I grew up, probably it was only 4 or 5, and I was being set up into the big tractors I seen back then was 8360s.
They were a big tractor back then. They were a big tractor back then.
Of course they were. So, like, I was 5 or 6, and... Mind
you were climbing 3 steps now instead of 2.
No. I wasn't even climbing them. My dad was holding me. He was lifting me up into the tractor.
Hey, safest place far away. That's all I'm saying.
I can mind way back. I mean, we're going back first ever time. It was where sister and brother lived now at the minute. That field was being done, and obviously there was no houses there back then, so it was just a shed.
Yeah. And
basically like mounds of clay and stuff at either side. So you driven around. Where my sister's house would be, and I more or less my earliest memory was Rory Johnson, so that would be Daniel's cousin.
Okay.
He was driving for Ray Quinn or Gussie Quinn, as people would know them, and I used to sail. I had never actually been in the passenger seat of a tractor before, because we didn't have a passenger seat in any of our tractors. We had a 390T, a 390 non-turbo, and a 399
two-wheel
drive. That was, you know, back then.
But surely did you not get a...
I stood in the tractor with my hand on someone's knee.
Yeah.
So that was my natural thing. I had a hand on one of the bars and hand on one of the knees. And Rory at that time would have been great with my brother.
Yes.
And it was like, oh my God, geez, I was in with Jared's friend or whatever. So, well, fast forward, and I went, I wonder would I get to go in the TM? And let's just say... got in touch with Gareth, and he just said, yep, I can help you.
But is the TM ready, Connor?
No. As I found out, and we'll talk about it later, TM is getting, I suppose you'd say, was it dollied up, getting the cool bits added to her. And as the man that's doing it said, I'm under no pressure now. Big props to Mr. New Holland himself and forward, Sam Cole.
Do you know what? Sam, not only would Sam want to help Gareth out, but Sam, now knowing that you're doing that, Sam will equally want to like help you out as well. That's the type of Sam. Like,
I like,
you know.
Had a conversation with him there.
And he supported us from day one, so fair play to him. Like,
on Saturday we got landed up whenever you were getting your turbo.
Yep.
And he said, I believe after the tractor ready for you. And I was like, look, if it's causing too much, do not be worrying. It's, you know, and he was like, no, all's going well, timeline and all, it's working out.
Haven't seen my family in 6 years, but you know, apart from that.
Very true. And met his partner and all, like, you know, they, you know,
good people.
100%. But anyway, said to Gareth anyway, and then I was like, right, I can now confirm I will have a tractor and a trailer, and I'll be having a Kealey on behind, so it'll be sort of matching. So plan A, which probably 95% from what I gather is going to work out, will be TM140 and the Kealey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the lineup is that Gareth says that I'll be debuting her with the bits and bobs she is on, and if that doesn't work out, the 6390. Which, to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, and I say this to Gareth, this is a pinch me moment. Never in my life did I ever think I'd be driving a Grassman tractor. Now, I can understand there's a lot of people thinking that is not that big a deal.
Oh, it is.
To me, it is a big deal. Like,
absolutely.
when I was a wee, and it was, you were begging Daddy, can I get a DVD?
Oh, 100%.
You know.
Yeah. For years, my life was just imagining me as a contractor. Like, when I was a Wayne, imagining me as a contractor and like having interviews with Grassman. Like, I was like, that was my dream, was like, oh, imagine either John, well, even or John from Farmflix, you know, like either or, like coming and videoing you, and like you, them asking you questions. I was like, well, what would I say to them if they asked me about this, and what fleet would I have? And like, that's all I thought about for years, was like my dream fleet and all this here. Like,
well, here's one for you, and maybe you don't even know this, but obviously as a child you get your pedal tractors.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pedal, she would have been 3125 oil loader.
Okay.
That shape of Massey 2000. My brother got me 390T decal, or 390 decals made for it,
cool.
which was very cool.
Yeah.
What did I have to get though? 8360 one.
Yes.
So I think she was an 8360 or else a very early TM one.
Yes.
Ford with no loader on her, because
Yes.
she looked like twins. And then
Class.
I tortured my brother and my uncle. Essentially, our 399 was two-wheel drive and came with the wee mudguards. I got wee mudguards cut out and put onto her.
Oh, deadly. I never got any of that. Like, but I did have a pedal tractor.
I had a mudguard and one wheel, and I thought I was cool.
What were the
And then it was, I used to follow my map out after the lawnmower, you know,
but like,
getting over the silage, you know,
yeah.
and used to tramp a wee silo that I made out of blocks.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
my
don't
dad
know.
used to be like,
I had one over there in the corner.
at the worst it got to be, you had in between the blocks, you were obviously fit to pedal up onto it, and I think I had it that well fucking trampled that it was a big thing whenever Dad came in with the grape and he put it in the bucket, and I thought, oh, he's feeding the cows it. No, it went straight to the ducker.
I had a wee vomit, and I had a G240.
Oh,
Yeah.
a wee Fiat Agri one, a wee
Fiat.
Genesis.
Yeah, a wee Genesis. I don't think you do much pulling with it all the same. That wee vomit, whatever way it was set up, we used to do the wacky races here. So we would take like the two tractors and the go-kart and whatever up to the top of the lane, and then we would start at the very, very top of the hill there.
Yes.
And race them down, because there's a big, it's just the big hill, and that wee vomit looked like shit, but it had a loader on it as well. There's nothing would touch it. You were away. The go-kart was just fucked. The Fiat, it was slow, and then like halfway down the hill, or once you got to the bottom of the hill, like you were stopped. The wee vomit nearly put you out onto the road. Like, it did not stop. There's nothing would touch it. Scooters, the whole idea, skateboards, whatever. The whole idea is you could not pedal, push. It was a free wheel start, and everyone was sitting there to start trying to rock themselves down. Me and my cousin done this for years. Like,
Oh, here, like, sure, you know, down into where Shiloh is, there's that Wild Hill.
Mm-hmm. Same thing again.
No. This is the thing. I could pedal up it, no bother.
Oh, fuck that.
Apparently,
Too far away.
Nobody could pedal up it, and apparently, like, from that, even in later years in the go kart, like now, if I tried it in the go kart, it would not go well. But like, I just had to do that, and other ones like Cousins obviously land and have a bit of crack and fun. You know, back in the day they couldn't do that there. But Michael, to be fair, I never actually asked this question before. But see if the Sierra did break, where would you get bits for it?
CDM Sport.
CDM Sport.
Yeah. So if I needed a turbo, because you know that can happen, I would go to Connor at CDM Sport. If I need a clutch, radiator, pretty much anything, suspension parts, whatever. Basically any drift spares at all.
So what you're saying is it's a one-stop shop for engine swap cars and for the odd bits and bobs that you need.
Absolutely. I just wish that Connor's shop was available 7 years ago when I started building all this stuff. So CDM Sport has kindly taken on the podcast as a sponsor, and in fairness, he has been very helpful with me even in recent times. I do think that it's a worthwhile business to go and see what Connor can do for you.
So everyone, get on to cdmsport.life for all your motor needs. Anyway, long story short, so that was a big thing for Marcel, and then so everyone's more or less half confirmed. We still have a lot to figure out.
Yeah, so the thing is, we have a few. We were actually going to say this. I was going to say this in the last podcast, and then Connor went, no, don't.
So didn't want to say anything until everyone was, suppose, more or less confirmed, because I didn't want to say something and then not. But got up to Grassman HQ for a chat. It was between a sort of, I think, between the Yorkshire show and the Welsh show.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday. Worked out well because I was off work and all that too. And to be fair, Garth gave me a full on tour of the place.
Jealous.
Some operation.
Oh, well, believe it. Hopefully I'll get to see it soon myself. But
Now, I'm naturally quite a quiet person whenever thing, so like probably could be more talkative, but
I think it was quite good for you to go and do that in your own, but because like you would normally try and be like, no, Michael, you do that. No, Michael, go, you do that. Like that would be you. It's like, and I'm sitting going, no, you do it. Take it on. You do it, and I'm glad you did, because like I haven't had the Grassman tour. Now, fine, it is what it is, but like, you know, you got, rather than me asking Gareth on your behalf, it was like, no, go, you do it yourself. And I think that was a good thing for you.
Oh, I know. It's more my thinking behind, and maybe it is a slightly backward or whatnot. Whenever someone has a bit of a relationship built up with someone, it's more, you don't want to be coming across as, I don't know him, but he's asking quite a lot. But anyway, no, it all worked out. Well, we'll soon know. Hopefully, all goes to plan.
Think in the future we can convince Dave Egan to give us a drift car.
Maybe me.
Do you think that's going to be working?
Well,
as we glance behind the camera to the Sierra, which is lying on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, it's the only thing that's went wrong with that recently is just silly things and being silly. You know, realistically, if you went Donegal with race grade
proper
oil,
motorsport oil,
you'd have been grand.
Oh well.
But these are things you have to
and a
learn.
coil pack. Race grade oil and a coil pack.
Well, the race grade oil would have probably kept the engine cooler, and then you would not have needed a coil pack.
I think the coil pack was down to the bad earth on the side of the block.
That was
possibly,
all, like, but it's stupid stuff, you know.
Because of the bad earth, tightening up the earth also fixed my oil pressure sensor.
There you go.
But the oil pressure sensor was fine. I have two of them. I have one on a gauge and one actually in the block that goes to the ECU. So it was fine.
So then, I suppose another thing is, obviously, if we were doing this big journey, and the parents, both the parents we've lost have obviously big anniversaries not there. It was like, you know, give back a bit, obviously, and something. I suppose you said, oh look, if we raise a few pound, like all going well, it'd be great, not there. And then whenever we're sort of choosing what charity to do, my mother used to do, you know, night sets.
Yes.
For Marie Cury.
Yeah, it's okay.
And even whenever she wasn't well with her illness, she was still doing them. She enjoyed them, just getting out and about, not there. And she was a trainee nurse when she was younger, just with the way things worked out at home. She was probably she decided to take a step back from that and stay at home. You know,
6 weigh-ins, like.
So and that has sort of spiraled out of control.
So can I jump back in again?
Go ahead.
Because that's the natural progression of where I'm sort of leading. When I started this whole thing, I made the Just Giving page, and I originally was like, in my head, I was like, right, sure, if I maybe got, like, I was like, imagine if we raised 10,000, like, that'd be incredible, like, that would be absolutely unbelievable. But sure, if we got £1,000 out of it, like, you know, it's a good cause and all this here. So I think, like, what was it, maybe start of June, I made the Just Giving event, and I think within 24 hours we had £1,200 raised.
Yes.
Like, it exploded, and I was like, holy fucking shit, this is insane. So then I was like, will I be cheeky here, put it to $5,000? Would love to get it.
Now, bearing in mind, during times there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of other things, and possibly I suppose you could say, like, commitments that we sort of didn't really need to do, but we did anyway, and that's just, you know, all other things.
And then, as I said, I was away 75% of June.
Yes.
So there was,
like, you had Donegal coming up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So then pushed it at the start, but I kind of knew, look, we'll push it at the start, you'll get a bit of instant traction. But I was thinking, make it £250. Then I wrote to a few companies, and the next thing, bang, sponsorship coming in from all these big companies, and I was like, holy shit. Most notably, well, I don't mean to single them out, there's a few different ones, but one of the ones I did reach out to was Specialist Joinery, and I said to Kieran what we were doing, and Kieran goes, look, Michael, here's my number, give me a shout. So then he says, look, your dad was very good to me growing up. Kieran, Specialist Joinery, done very well as a company, but like, the Higgins are based up the road there, they have a farm. Kieran's been jumping in a Reynolds since he was no height, so he'd have been round here, he helped put in silage and all around here when he was younger. So that, just knowing that effect of what I suppose what my dad had on people, and that all being returned now, was very nice to see. So, you know, like, as I said, there's other names come on board and other plans, obviously Grassman, and a few other names. Once I reveal the trailer, the big banners that goes in the side of the trailer, well, you'll see everyone. I'm just trying to tie up loose ends with some people.
If in the event that there is other sponsors come on after these are all, after the banners and all are made,
we'll still tag you and everything on Facebook.
We'll between doing that, and probably we'll obviously do something, and we'll do a big thank you video.
We'll make sure there is something done. Also, shout out to Phil Kenna, who at the time of recording this has sent me a message, and I haven't replied to him yet. He just sent me a message going, look, what's the plans? Phil Kenna has offered to take, he has the 2 lorries, he has offered to take our tractors back up the road for us, because I have a wedding the following Tuesday, and we have to do a thing on the Monday night for it. So I can't even hang about the whole. In an ideal world, well, saying an ideal world, it would be less than ideal, to be quite honest, is you drive them back up the road again home. But I can't do that. I just don't have the time for that. I literally, as soon as that hill finishes, that's me back up the road. So
we'll probably stick about for a bit.
Okay, obviously, but what I mean is, like,
it'll be an early morning.
Oh, yeah.
Home. But like, whenever we record it with Phil, I suppose we just sort of went to him, look, you know, you're a lorry, you have a lorry business, is there any way you could help out? Not even a hesitation.
Yeah, he was absolutely, like, he was like, that'll be my donation, I'll get you back up the road. And I was just went, like, holy shit.
My hand has never been out to shake a man's hand.
Yeah,
as quick
no,
in my life.
Phil, I would need to get back to him. Like, it's just, you can interject any second if you want, Connor. you can jump back in. No, I suppose what I'm just saying is, like, it is going to be mental.
Look, in today's climate, regardless of what background you're from, everything is dear, everything is harder. Prices of everything have went through the roof, and even anyone giving the smallest donation to someone giving a massive donation, you no idea how grateful you can be. And like, Michael is obviously going to have more hardship than me. And do we know if the tractor's going to make it? No. But we will end up doing like, maybe if she does start to decide she wants to get a wee bit warm or something silly. But look,
the route we're taking though, we're going through enough towns, we're going out enough back roads, you know, that we're going to be starting and stopping. There's going to be a lot of slower driving through, like, there, I suppose maybe as well to talk about it is the route we're planning on taking. So leave here, Bly, Marfeld, Cookstown, Dungannon, Monaghan, Clonus, and then my knowledge of local places starts to die off as we go further from there. Clonus down to Athlone, probably some very notable towns in the middle of there, but sure, I don't know where they're at. Down to Nina, County Tipperary, which was the original plan. I had thought about stopping. Connor then was like, no, try and get as far as you can, I suppose, on the first day.
So, I suppose if we leave stupid early in the morning, it's the main thing to try and just skip as much traffic as possible, that whenever you get down the country, in theory, if you're going through more rural bits, you'll kill rush hour out of it.
Yeah.
And the further we get down, then in regards to Gareth's idea with yourself at Dubshed, the closer you are to the likes of that, in the Saturday, you have time.
Yeah.
So, like, if we have to drive to very late enough in the Friday evening to allow us that if we drive, you know, a couple of hours on the Saturday morning till something and maybe do a bit of media here and there, all going well, it'll work out.
I think another thing I'd like to cut in and say is I have had quite a few people message us saying I'd love to join in. I'd love that. Look, more than happy for anybody to join in. You're mad if you do, but fair play. What I would say is you're doing it on your own risk, as are we, but you're doing it at your own risk, and it's up to you to make sure you have the correct insurance, fuel, whatever. Because it's only supposed to be me and Connor, and I don't want to really go and make a big song and dance about it. Because it's only the two of us, we can get away with not really having to do any proper police checks.
Like, you'll be properly insured.
Yes,
and
obviously
and all
that. But I know in the south they don't have a parades commission, but they have something similar. But because it's only the two of us and we're not closing roads, we're covered. If there's a bigger gang of us, I don't know what way that leaves us.
So,
and I don't
literally, even if you want to come and see us, or we'll probably be posting up updates along the way.
Yeah, and look, I'm just calling a spade a spade. Like, I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm just saying this is...
The worst thing for your mental health would be if there was 10 of us, 10 people joined in, so there's 12 tractors and children down the road at 20-something mile an hour.
Which would be class.
And you have a massive tail of traffic behind, and somebody calls the guards.
And the guard stops us.
We more or less...
get told, you should have done X, Y, and Z and all this here. And we're putting this in public. We're putting this out here because...
we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
We don't want to hurt anybody, and we don't want it to be that someone goes, oh, I didn't know.
We're not telling you not to, but...
Oh no, there's plenty of people have said they're coming. Just look, it is at your own risk.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be where we're going to be closing roads. If you're stuck at traffic lights, you know, you'll catch up eventually, kind of thing.
You literally can only do 22 mile an hour.
We're not closing roads or nothing. There's none of that happening. So, but yeah, look, the support we've had with people saying that, I know that maybe sounds a wee bit better or whatever. I'm not trying to discourage people at all. I'm just saying we've left it that it's just me and Connor and Hugh, all being well.
We maybe...
And a couple of recovery vehicles. Joe Rogers has offered to step in, and obviously Adam's coming down as well.
I suppose the other thing is, which may be an idea, we'll explore it, is if we do call in somewhere on the Saturday to do a bit of silage, you can come and see us there. And also, like if there happens to be one or two other trailers, maybe join in the crack. but nothing can be confirmed. And again, everything is literally at your
There's
own
a
risk.
lot. There's a lot up in the air depending on weather. If it's a complete washout, we can't do half our plans. It just means we'll be down to Cork a lot sooner than we thought.
Yeah, which could be also good in another way because your backside and your back might be thankful of it.
Jeremy will be great because he'll go. Jed Later's about a heap of tractors here now to go and bring in some grass.
But all the same,
that'll be savage crack.
Again, not confirmed. But like, if everybody wanted to come and drive and park up in his field for like photo, that would be very cool.
He would
we'll
love
not
that.
rule anything.
Well, he's already set an open invite anyway.
Well, pretty much. I suppose you could say, like, if it ends up being something like that, and there's too many, like, hang back a bit, and then ultimately drive. We'll keep you updated.
We'll not leave you stuck. It's just we have to protect ourselves because, as I say, the way we're working this is it's just the two or the three of us. We're not going to be causing any real trouble because, again, I can't go to the guards and say, well, how many's joining? Oh, well, there's X number said they were going to join us, and we have to go through all these extra hoops and maybe run the risk of being told, no, you can't do this, and then nobody joins. I'll be straight out with it. Like, that's just
everything's at your own risk.
Yeah. So just look, anyone that's reached out, and I know there are a few listeners, and they obviously appreciate and love what we're doing. Lads, if you just want to come along, do so. Just listen to heed what we're saying here.
Pretty much.
We'll get on to a bit more in the run in a bit. Probably time we introduce our guest.
Oh, of course, yes. So, obviously, Michael was at a wedding on Saturday.
But not on the Friday night.
Not on the Friday night, no.
Thankfully.
So, on the Friday, I said to yourself, look, I don't think there's any pulling going on at BRM's Revvv Festival, but the weigh-ins are on.
Yes.
And I suppose the tractor pulling crowd will like obviously been there. Will we land up? And I've got to say, it's probably up there with the best night's crack I've had nearly this year. It was
actually savage crack.
It was brilliant.
That was savage crack. It's good seeing all the lads again.
And big shout out to Andrew Morton. You saved me a wild walk to Michael's pickup to obviously get a couple of tins of cider. I owe you a couple of tins of Carlsberg, but no, thank you very much indeed for that. And yeah, it was just fucking. I never thought somebody could be the piss took out of him because of a flip case, but there you go.
Shout out to Shane Hanna.
Flip case,
flip phone. Alright there, flip phone.
And it was even the sound he made. He even made a good sound.
Pure master at it, like. I was so funny. But yeah, look, we'll get fully in depth under the whole BRM pull here now with Stephen. So our guest now is Stephen Kealey, the head man of BRM Group, BRM Utilities, also BRM Restorations, has taken the absolute plunge. They got involved in the tractor pulling sort of really tail end 2023, I would say 2024. They have a fleet of unreal tractors.
They definitely, yeah.
Yep, plenty of fates. Perfect.
The Internationals tidy, as well as the 5150.
5150 is class, to be fair, but they have what these boys do will blow your mind.
Do you know some just a wee taster, having been there on the Saturday, I don't know what the Sunday was like for I wasn't there. It was a fucking incredible event, and hands down to them, fair fucks.
We will be a lot heavier involved next year.
Like
that Stephen has.
The only word to describe it was wow.
I thought you were going to go on ... real.
No, that's your catchphrase, lad.
Fair. So, without further ado, we bring in this week's podcast guest, Stephen Kealey of BRM Group. BRM Group.
If nobody done nothing gets done.
Yeah.
People have to step out, and everybody, if you take an event that we put on at the weekend, everybody's important.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd coming are important.
The crowd.
But the cleaners cleaning the loos all day, every half an hour, are essential.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
entertainment's essential, the production team's essential, the guys cleaning the bins essential, the sound guys, the marquee guy. Everybody has to play a part.
Absolutely.
To make an event like that come off. There is, I get the competitors. Everyone feels maybe their part of the event's the most important, but everyone's the same.
Everyone knows the competitors are going to be making the show, but it's the us behind the scenes is what keeping the show rolling. Even someone bringing drinks, keeping the bar stocked.
Yeah.
you know, or...
Well, we had a couple of issues with generators. We had sparks on site within 10 minutes. And if they weren't on site, the show stopped.
Yeah. That's a lifeline, like.
You know, we had hydraulic people on site. We had guys with airlines on site, compressors on site. Everybody's important. And that's what I look at. I think you have to realise in life that, and I found it in my business, a business runs from a team.
Mm-hmm.
The core of any business is the people in it.
100%. It's actually probably a good way to actually start the whole thing, the whole pod off, just with you talking about that there, Stephen, talking about people. But I suppose, yeah, we've got Stephen Kealey from BRM Group with us off the back of the Revvv Up Festival.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Jesus Christ, what a show, boys. You're allowed to swear, by the way. Like, you can absolutely swear if you want, like, if that's how you feel about it.
Dangerous.
But well, obviously that's all we're going to be talking about for the majority of the podcast. So
yes.
I'd like to kick it back a wee bit further, Stephen, and we've basically touched on all this already because we've basically done the whole podcast standing outside the shed
it does
talking
sometimes
shit, like.
happens, don't get me wrong, yeah.
But Stephen, you said you grew up on a mountain farm outside between Dungiven and Limavady. So
yeah.
Let's go back to young Stephen. Where did it all start? The whole thing, getting into engineering, the tractors, the civils, everything.
Yeah.
Where did it all start?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was come from. There's a family of 4 brothers of us, and mum and dad. And at that time, I had my uncle, granny, and granddad, as most farms have on the farm. There's a small mountain farm in Glenconway. I suppose just between towards Dungiven, heading for Limavady, up towards the Altahullion 1 farm there.
Yes, yeah.
So we're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Sheep and cattle farm. So spent the first 20 years of my life on a farm, working on a farm, in and around plant and machinery.
Mm-hmm.
Had an interest in tractors. I think I've grown more of an interest in them as I've got older.
Funny that, yeah.
But yeah, we had tractors like a 1210 David Brown. I remember an old Major, which I now have one myself.
Yes.
That was there. At that time, you'd have been cutting turf, and the tractors had been used for going on and taking out the peats and things and working on the farm. Basic machinery,
Yep.
as you appreciate, back in the
100%.
80s. It would have been a lot of two-wheel drive stuff. And you're just around it. And it was a lovely... we were quite isolated. We actually lived on a road that had a dead end, so we were well up on the mountain. And family, hard-working family. We learned young what hard work was.
Yep, you can see that.
You learn that value in life, which is important. And then as we grew up, we realised that the farm's not going to support 4 of us, and 3 of us had to find our own way. So we all went out to work, and I headed to actually Limavady College.
Right.
After I left school, that's where I went, and I done a diploma in engineering.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where the engineering sort of started from. And I went on to do, after that I done business management. I went on to McGee after that and done about a degree work in accountancy and so on. And I ended up working to a local utility company, and I spent the first sort of 10, 12 years in the north of Ireland.
Yes.
Working in power, fibre, would have been doing street lighting. We're involved with several civil engineering projects, and it got me back around machinery.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
You can see that we're back to something like as we talked about earlier. Lots of farmers, they'll maybe working on the farm in the evening and they're driving a lorry or a machine during the day.
Yeah.
Well,
It's natural.
that interest was there.
Yes.
I went back into something that was machinery related.
Yeah.
Once I'd done my education, and then as I progressed through my career, we decided to launch BRM in November 16.
Well, so
What does BRM stand for then?
BRM, well, at the weekend I was told that does this stand for the big Revvv man? But it
not a bad. Not a bad one. But
Yeah, but it actually stands for Ben, Reese and Maya, my 3 children.
Oh, there you go then,
okay.
yes.
In age order, so Ben's the oldest at 20 years of age, and Reese is 18, 19 now, and Maya's 11. And you may have noticed the big case with Maya across the front.
Yes.
Yes.
After my daughter. So when I started the business, BRM, when I was thinking about it, or talking to my wife Pamela, what do we call this? Well, why do we all go to work? We all go to work for family.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I said, well, why not just call it after the kids? At the end of the day, that's we're out there. We're doing this for them.
Yeah.
And we're working hard for a family.
Class.
So we called it BRM. And that foundation in the business of a family-based business has gone right through. Now, the business has obviously scaled up over the years. We're a national contractor now across the British Isles. We work all over the place. But we're still a family business. And although we might have, a few hundred people working in the company, I regularly talk to my team and explain to them that, that you're part of the team, you're part of the family, you own a piece of this business. I may have been the architect, but everyone goes into the business like we all do and take a piece out of it every week.
There's a lot to be said for that. If you feel like, if you were at the stage where you felt like maybe one of your younger employees, even a cup and a digger, couldn't say to you, felt like he couldn't speak to you because you were no longer like maybe attainable, I feel like that would probably actually kind of merely annoy you because you'd be like, no, this is a family company, you should be able to speak to me.
And they can.
Yeah.
And I can prove that because my mobile number's still on my website. So
you literally are.
I'm completely accessible 24 hours a day. If someone in my team at any level needs to talk to me, they can lift the phone and say, look, and I'm about bringing young people into the industry and helping them. You know what I mean? Like we have in a restoration team, for example, this led by Dean down in Eglinton, where we started, and I'll explain the background to that. We started restoration a couple of years ago because a lot of my vans and things, as you appreciate, they'll get damaged from time to time.
Of course,
and sometimes,
doing hard work.
Sometimes through wear and tear, you just need to repaint and freshen up plant. And I struggled across England and Scotland to maybe find people that, there'll be a waiting time to when can you fix this lorry? It could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but I don't have the luxury of waiting that time. Yeah. So we launched the restoration service in Eglinton as a support service to the BRM Group to actually help our fleet. And a lot of our vans gets damaged to come back to be repaired and restored there. A lot of the paint jobs, if I buy a piece of plant that needs a freshen up or it needs converted to company colours, it'll be done there. Like recently we just finished a beaver tail and a forklift last week that went out to London, all fully restored in the company colours and decaled there and sorted. Now that led into, well, what do we do when we're not busy with our own stuff? Hence we get involved in the tractor restoration. And obviously it took me back to, like, we're restoring 110 90s, 80 90s, where, and it takes you back to here we are, back to the farming connection again. Tractors that were 20, 25 years old, and we're now working on them. And you have all saw, I'm sure, some of our work, like led by Dean Ferry down there, it's exceptional. But in that restoration business, we have a young team there. We have Dean there, we have Kealey, Rimmon, and we have wee Shauna, our wee apprentice, who's just joined us. And like she's 20 years of age. She had an interest in getting involved in restoration. And as I said to the team, you need to now share that knowledge. You bring young people through because they're the future.
Absolutely, definitely, yeah.
And that's what BRM's about, giving everybody an opportunity. Because when I started out in business, and we started our business in England, and I suppose 95% a lot of what we do is across in England and Scotland. Because I spent my first part of my career here, but then we moved over. I needed people to give me an opportunity to get going.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And you need people to work with you. And anything you do in life, like I say, business or these events that we're going to talk about, it's a team.
How did you find, because I'm really interested to know this. So you were obviously based here for a long time, went out, started your own 2016. Whenever you started BRM, had you even been over near England with any of your own equipment at all, or that was completely new ground for you?
I was across in Scotland for about 2 years before I launched BRM. I'd done a little bit in England through other people.
Yes.
Obviously through other businesses. So I had been sent across to Scotland to do some work on the fibre side. I had been sent down to England to do some power work. But we did literally start from nothing. It was a van and me.
So I was going to say, so day one.
Out. This is not a second generation company, like it's first generation. I was on the ground up until about 3 years ago. I was literally on the ground with the lads working every day. And to be fair to my wife, we were the MD, the secretary, we were the HR, we were payroll, we were absolutely everything from a kitchen table.
Did you Did you get that sort of moment in life, Stephen, where you're like, I kind of want to just work to myself and do my own thing?
Absolutely. I always had, well, coming from a farming background, obviously farming, you're entrepreneurs in your own right. Every farm's a business.
100%.
And it's a tough business. I get that. Which is why you saw it rev it up at the weekend. We had a lot of our signs up supporting local farmers and mental health and everything else. So that background's there, and I appreciate how hard it is from watching my own father and mother. The work you go on. There's no quitting time.
No, absolutely not.
There's no hours. There's no HR.
I don't know if HR.
The sheep or cattle. They don't wait till 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? You have to go out at night or the weekends. So that ethos is within my business. That is there. That farming ethos of we work hard and we don't stop till we get the job done is at the core of BRM. But that was from being reared and raised in an agricultural background.
So then, as you say, you started off Univan. Like, were you going in as a consultant? Were you going in literally digging holes with a spade? Like,
no, I was going in. Me and a few of my managers, Ryan, and we've got, we have Danny. A few of the guys are still with me now 10 years later. We were literally maybe 10, 15 guys in 2 or 3 vans, and we were all out on the tools, digging, laying ducting, backfilling, reinstating, pulling cables, doing whatever, and doing the paperwork at night. It was heavy going. There was times that you just didn't get home. And the first 6-7 years of building the business was tough.
I would well believe that, of course.
And like I say, I'm sure your listeners will say, well, any business is tough, but heading out to England from a standing start, we no yard facilities, no accounts, no insurance. You're trying to get everything get it going. It's tough to do it at home, where maybe you have familiarity, you have people that you can turn to and help you. Out there, you don't. You have to go new to people and say, look, I'm BRM, would you weld this hitch for me? And people's like, well, who's this guy?
And then maybe the accent.
But we were very welcome when we went across. The people over there were fantastic. We were welcomed with open arms. I suppose we showed early on in the company how good we were.
Yes.
At what we'd done. We built our reputation, and we grew our team the right way with the right people. And today, we operate right across the British Isles, and it's a very successful company. And I'm totally indebted to my people and the company for the help and the energy that they give. And you saw that in a field outside Dungiven at the weekend.
Absolutely.
Where the BRM team locked in, and that staff and that team of mine, they gave 24 hours a day commitment to make sure that was the best event. And that's the type of people we employ.
So I think it's probably as good a way of bringing it on then to the Revvv Up Festival. But like even just before that, so like obviously it's a tractor pulling festival, and we'll talk even about the way you spoke about your marketing and all very soon. But how did you get into the whole tractor pulling side of things? Like, what was that dragged you in, or where did that initially come onto your radar? I know you've obviously had the love for farming machinery. But
Yeah. Well, we that, as you say, that interest in machinery was always there. There was a local tractor pull. We're based actually in Eglinton, so our main depot is just down beside the City of Derry Airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you may recall, you may have been there a few years ago. It was in September 23. There was a local tractor pull in Ballykelly.
Yep, there was indeed.
And there was quite a big turnout that day.
Massive. And
we heard about it, and we read up about it, and we said, we have 110-90 New Holland Blue in the yard. Let's shine the tyres, and let's put some diesel in it. And me and Vincent got the ditch, and we put it on, and we decided to go down to this tractor pull. And we were absolutely going down that day to 1. You know what I mean? We thought we are going to master this. We're coming home with trophies. You know what I mean? So probably we ended up in the bottom 3 of the 300 that was there.
And they got a savage day for it as well.
And it was crazy. I remember meeting Big Andy Morton and all those guys, and the Connery guys and all down there, and we're all standing around, and we got very friendly with the guys, and I was just fascinated by this. You know what I mean? When we got our first pull. And I think I managed to go a full 60 odd metres, and you know what I mean. We went home and we had a family meeting about it. I think for about a week we talked about how well we done.
Yes.
And we were sitting and like, this is just brilliant, and we should do this again. And then, as I went to a few of the local events and got to know more people, I felt that to go to everybody's event, and maybe if I had the capability in the business to run my own event and maybe contribute to it, you know, and it takes a lot for the different organisers to set these things up. And I had went to 3 or 4, and I felt, you know, I didn't feel any pressure, but I felt that I wanted to contribute.
You wanted to get involved
and run my own event. And at that stage, we had learned enough about how events are run, and we looked at what worked and what didn't work. And you know, we sat down with the team and the company, and I explained to them about this tractor pulling, and that you could contribute something to the charities, and it was good for the socials of the company, and it was a good way to give something back. So you know, we decided then to run Revvv Up 1, which is Revvv Up 24.
Yep.
As you know, it ran on the 31st of August last year.
I was there. I was flag marshal.
Yeah, you were there. You were on the track.
I was on the track. Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time. My brother Peter and Vincent and Jason, they were down there, and obviously we're very close with the Smith family, as you know.
Oh,
yeah.
So they're big into the sport. So we have Owen and we have Niall. And there's Ewan there, and obviously keeps all the measures.
Yep.
And then you have Bob and Roisin, and then my cousin Michael got involved, and my sons got involved, and we sort of formed, and Monty was down, and we sort of, you know, this little team came together, where we all sort of said, well, we're all interested, and if we all get together, could we pull this off? So we started to, year one, we built a car park. So we basically took a field that my dad was farming in, and made a car park out of it. You know, I mean, obviously he wasn't too pleased about that, but fair enough. We says, let's have a go with this. That's as far as we got in terms of the field. We got a nice little setup done, but we stripped the soil off, and it was actually on the Thursday night before the pull we stripped it, and it was quite a chance to take, because would the field hold up? Would it work? I was nervous about it. And the guys all came down. Great support in the pulling community, as you know. Everyone arrived to the event on the Friday. The sun came out at about 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. It was about a 30-degree temperature that day.
It was really, really warm, but I remember the field being soaking.
Yes.
That morning, the field was absolutely soaking. Yeah. Because I decided, I'm going to wear trainers, and I was like, shit, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. But there was a good energy in that field that day.
Honestly,
for some reason it just worked. There was I think there was somewhere between 1 and nearly 2,000 people turned up. That's what captured me. I was like, "Whoa, look at this crowd that turned out to this. Do you have a look at what's going on?"
One thing I noticed about last year's event, there's quite a few things. The first of it was there was a lot of local support, like even a lot of boys from around here. And I remember it being the discussion: "Are you all going to that Paul in Dungiven?"
Yeah.
Aye. So there was a lot of local lads who wouldn't even maybe go to any of the other polls.
Yeah.
We're all going to that.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. The second thing was...
Do you think that's because it was centrally located? Which seems to a lot of people would say, well, a lot of guys coming up from Donegal or Monaghan or County Down or over this area, it sort of sits... For
us in the north, because and I say that, I mean, like, even I suppose in the northern counties, so to speak, like, Donegal is obviously up north too, like...
Yeah.
You made a point on this earlier. If there's a pull in Newton Ards or even further on out towards Antrim or whatever, like, you know, there's still that distance. Whereas you're not just as big a jaunt for them, but then you're still not that far away. You know, you're in the middle. You're in the middle of County Derry. Like you're slap bang in the middle there. So you know you can bring in boys from Monaghan, boys from Antrim, boys from the ones from Newton Ards. They can all come, and they're not too far away.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I remember walking on last year, and then I seen the two, and I seen it was. Had you originally planned for one, and then did you decide for two last minute, or what way did it work?
We had planned originally. We're thinking one sled.
Yes.
As it got closer to the event, I took the gamble and I says to do something different, and you know it was you're doing a bit of trailblazing.
Yep.
To be fair, will this work? And you know at that time we had the Glenshane anchor, and we had Noel Watt at the right up until about, I think Noel had actually been booked, and a bucket had maybe fallen through, and that's what happened. And Owen Smith, to be fair, had been talking to Noel and had been telling him about the event. I think that from memory that's what happened.
That's what happened as well.
Noel's diary opened up anyway, And he said, look, if you want, I can bring the sled. So we stripped the field wider, and we said, well, let's have a go at 2 and see how it works. And to be honest with you, that when we ran that event, that was so exciting. Everyone was watching. There was non-stop action, and I said to myself, this is really, really good. Now, the feedback was, I knew what the feedback was going to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The track needed to be better.
Yes.
There needed to be improvements.
Yes.
But it was a first-time effort by BRM.
And you had the likes of, and I think at the start I was talking to a few of the others, and they were like, he's went and put the money into this fucking tent, and look at the day, we didn't need a tent or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I feel, looking back on it, a lot of people missed the point.
Yes.
I think a lot of it was, it's nothing to do with him just putting on a tent to do whatever. It's to prove, does it work?
Yes.
Which is exactly what you said you were doing. That allowed you then to go, right, well, okay, I know the double track works. That's an absolute, as I said to you earlier, the video I had last year, Ken Cook on one side, and I think it was 50 shot or whatever you call that, yellow tractor puller on the other side, and he couldn't get grip, and there's Ken Cook flying by me on the other side. And I was like, the atmosphere of this is insane. Just seeing us and them, me standing with a flag, I was like, this is class, like best day ever. And
I remember going into the field, and we thought we had done such a good job, as you do. You're sitting there, you're all proud of yourself. You're like, there's so much effort and weeks and weeks and weeks of work at this field. Between, at that time, we had invested in, we hadn't got the stock-proof fencing that you seen at Revvv. It was more the temporary pedestrian fencing we had invested in. And we had all the welfare on site, the marquee was there. I was looking at things, I thought it was brilliant. And then I looked at the marquee and I went, that could be much better than that. You know what I mean? I remember saying to my marquee partner at the time, that marquee could be a lot better than that. And he says, yeah, we do a lot better than that, he says. And I was like, you know what I mean? Okay.
Cheers.
Yes. And the reason why you didn't do that, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? What is this? It's tractor pulling. We don't know you. We don't know this event. You're new to this environment.
Yeah, okay.
And they were nervous maybe around us as well. Mm-hmm. So we went with it.
Yeah.
And I think, now to be fair, looking back at it, if it had rained heavy that day, the track would have lost it. And like, even with the sunshine beaten down, you can remember my brother Peter with a digger on 2 or 3 times, and I think the track started at about 200 mil below ground level, and we finished up at a metre deep.
I know, it literally fell on
that. We fought and battled all day, but the event kept moving.
We had to turn the orientation, didn't we? Correct. We had to start the tractors at our end.
Kenneth Higgerty actually made that call. He was the track marshal that day.
That's right.
And at about 2-3 o'clock he says, look, let's bring in the bigger tractors just after lunch, and we'll switch it around and we'll run them down and try and compact it in a bit, which was the right call.
Yeah,
and it kept the show going on. But we managed to just about, creep over the finish line that evening. But the feedback then the next week was brilliant. We get so much positive feedback. The local community came out and said, wow, we've never seen this before. A lot of people came and said, we didn't know what tractor pulling actually was. Mm-hmm. We thought you were hooking 2 tractors together and having a tug of war with them. And they didn't understand it. That community hadn't seen it that much locally. Yes, there was that event in Ballykelly, but how many events, if you think about it, were taking place down that area over the last 10 years?
The only other one that I really can think of was the wee private pull that they had, and that was just on one of the barley fields that was going to be getting ploughed up anyway. It was the start of December.
Yeah, that was December
23. I can't remember if you were at that or not. I don't think you were.
I don't think we were.
But I think there was 40 tractors.
Yeah.
And Owen just said, you should come and video us. This is where we first properly started getting involved with the media. Yeah. And like, as you say, there was nothing really there other than that. Anything else seemed to be, you had your Mulla heads, down the country was always the big ones. But
or Pomeroy
even had started, but they're not really in your part of the country. There was nothing.
It was the first pull we ran was very special. The charity initially we had thought about going with was, it was all around my mum who was losing her eyesight.
Yes.
And we thought about going with our NAB NI. Mm-hmm. And about 3 to 4 weeks probably before the event, Owen and Niall came to me and they said, look, would you mind maybe switching charities this year and go with pulmonary fibrosis NI?
Yep.
Which I said, the reason. And he says, look, there's a guy, Jared Fudge McGonigal, who's a local legend in the town, who had just gone through a transplant. He was in Newcastle. He was doing well, but they wanted to give something back to pulmonary fibrosis. So I automatically, you can appreciate the type of guy I am. I said, look, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. If this means a lot to someone local who's in the local community, let's do this. Sadly, about a week before Revvv Up took place, Jared lost his life. He passed away.
That's right.
On the Monday, I heard that on this. I think it was a Saturday or Sunday. I heard it, and on the Monday, I was, we were nearly at the point of, well, we pull the handbrake.
I remember that,
and we'll just leave it.
Yep.
But his family were fantastic. They came to the Smiths and they came to me. I think it was a Tuesday morning, and said, look, Jared had been really looking forward to this event. It was to be. I put on a Starlink, as you know, and it was to be televised where he could get into the link and watch it from the Newcastle Hospital.
Yep.
That was the plan.
Yes.
And they said, "Go ahead. We want
do
you
it in his honour.
We want you to do it."
Yep. I mind that.
It was tough for them, I'm sure, but the entire local village at Ungiven and surrounding area came out to the event.
Yep.
It really wasn't. That first event was to honour his memory there, and that did carry on into Revvv Up 25, where we done one of the classes in his honour, so it was dedicated to him, and the trophies were presented by his daughter.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was, so it was fantastic, and it's very personal to people there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this year, as you know, we introduced our NIB, and we decided to do a dual contribution to the charities, which we'll confirm what we're going to do with that over the next few weeks. But my mum was there. She's got probably about 5% eyesight left, so she can't actually see anything.
Really sorry to
She's
hear
on
that.
the cane now. She's learning that, and their NIB guys are out helping her, and they've been training her and getting her up to speed with that over the last 12 months. It's been a horrific experience for her, because she was 18 years working in the post office, and she had her own wee car, her own independence, and she was going up and down to Limavady, and all of a sudden, in a very short space of time, she couldn't drive anymore. She lost her independence. And we watched how these guys came into our home and supported and helped, and that's why our NIB was in that field. So that's the personal experiences and background to why the charities. And if we can run the event and make a contribution to those every year, well, then it's all worthwhile.
Absolutely,
of course,
100%.
So off the back of that and the success of that first year, we sat down. We went to a few other events. So obviously, as you know, you'll see the BRM team at a lot.
You're everywhere.
They're everywhere. If there's a tractor pull and we can make it, the only ones we miss is whether there's one double booked.
Aye.
So we'll have to choose. Or if we're away in business or holidays, then we can't be there. But we normally would be great supporters of everybody else's event, and we'll turn up with probably too many tractors. And we'll all have a go on them.
It's always guaranteed to be about 6 of them.
Well,
Stephen.
there's usually a minimum of 6,
Yeah.
4 brothers, and then there's usually Owen and me, and if you maybe
Bob
Michael.
normally likes those.
Bob seems to be very comfortable in the 5150 Pro there. Owen's getting extremely comfortable in the blue 11090.
Aye, but sure.
And that's why it's all a team thing. And as I say, those guys come down, they take a tractor each, and we all have a go.
Is there any stories behind any of the tractors, or why you possibly acquired them, or?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Well, the initial tractors would have been the 11090, where we came from. That background, you can remember. I'm sure you all remember. There was every farm in the country had a 11090 on it.
Aye.
Just an iconic
Why
tractor.
I remember the fates.
And I just wanted one. You know what I mean? So we ended up buying two blue 11090s, which we still have.
One of them came from not far away from here.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. We still own those tractors. Then tractor pulling seemed to start to drive the motivation to change and get. So we needed more horsepower.
Yes, of course.
So then we got this fascination. I went through some sort of crisis on 1455 internationals and ended up buying 4 of them.
You had 4?
I didn't realise
yeah, 4.
I know you've got 2.
The international version especially is a lot more desirable than the case version.
Yeah. Well, we own that one that we call our Big Red.
Yes.
And that tractor was. There was a guy in just outside Aberdeenshire, and he had a 956 which we owned. Yes, you'll see her on the track for sale.
Was that out at Christmas by any chance?
Yes. And you might have seen my son Ben driving it. So the little 956, beautiful tractor. We were interested.
Great wee tractor.
This farmer owned the 2 of them. and he had automatic clutches on them because he was in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah. So she actually has an automatic clutch. The buttons on top of the gear stick, you just press it and she'll automatically clutch herself. Very clever, to be
Didn't
fair.
even know you could do that. but
That's
there you are.
class.
It's class, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had it all wired up. He has the clutch wired up to the top of the gear stick, and he has a wee button on it, and you just press it like that, and you just change the gear, and she'll clutch herself. You know?
So she's
class.
technically like a per quad of such, or like a
Well, we actually had to disconnect her because Ben was clutching when he was pulling, and it doesn't destroy his ball.
yeah.
Doing anything.
He pressed the button, trying to change the gear, got excited, and she just clutched out. So we disconnected that. But Danny was there, a manager of mine, and he says, "We see this tractor here. There's a 1455 International in the shed," and he showed me a video of it, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I said, "We definitely want that." And the guy said, "Look, if you want the 1455, you have to buy the 2 tractors."
Yes.
And we ended up coming home with both to have her. And she normally attends most polls. You've seen her, I'm sure.
Oh, I've seen Big Red many occasions.
Absolutely fascinating tractor.
Beautiful.
She's one of my favourites, and you'll regularly see me in her. Mm-hmm. So then we have, we have one other international version, and then we have 2 case versions.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're
I think I've seen one of the case ones, maybe.
Yeah. One of them would have been you may recall from Gart Hill. They had her up there, and we bought that tractor down in Eglinton.
Right.
So
it's
she's
local.
She's getting a bit of work done to it at the minute. Haven't had her out. I'm waiting on parts and bits and pieces. From
Did you have any of the case ones out? I thought you had a case one out at one of the other shows.
I haven't had the cases out
that's
yet.
you.
One of them was just bought as an old dentist tractor. She doesn't be used for pulling. The other one is going to be on the pull track at some point, but we're trying to do work to it this past while, and we just there's a serious delay in parts for them. So we have those. Then I noticed a lot of the guys using the power shafts, and all those tractors are all straight boxes.
Yes.
So then we moved in towards the next phase of it was let's get a couple of power shaft tractors. So we went in then and we bought that 310 Magnum, and I love that tractor. I think she's such a beast of a machine, and we mapped it up, and it's very exciting to watch and drive.
That's mental.
I thought that was it was brilliant. And then I was down at Cranford at Kenneth Higgery's pull back in May, and I was along with Brian Doherty and those guys, and they were all on the fence. Mm-hmm. And the Vario boxes.
Yes.
So again, I hadn't drove Vario, and I had to go and I'd look at that, and I said, this is class. I need to get myself a tractor with Varios. So we bought an 820, and you may have seen her at the
Revvv
Revvv event. So none of us got to drive it. My staff came across and they loved it. So Michaela and Stuart, 2 of my managers, Aaron Connery, and thanks to Aaron for getting into the cab and keeping them right. They're not tractor drivers,
but
they had a go.
That's class.
That tractor now will be up at Noel Watt's Pomeroy pull in a couple of weeks' time. So we now have a mix of Vario, power shaft, and straight boxes in the fleet.
What about the Dutz? Where did the Dutz come out of?
Yeah, Vanny's tractor. Big green, yeah. So no one's allowed into the Dutz except Vanny. He keeps it. He keeps that one. She was bought more for the business as the day-to-day move and plant machinery.
Yes.
So we put her on the loader. Lovely tractor, bought from Hunter Keynes.
Yes.
And she's sitting around about 200 horsepower. Nothing done to her. Straight farm tractor. Good machine. Lovely looking tractor.
Yep.
Very comfortable. The story behind that one was we actually owned a Dutz. One of the older ones, and we took her down to Hunter Keynes for a maintenance service and so on, and we went down. I remember it well. It was a sunny morning. Me and my son Ben went down, and we went down to simply the mission or the task that morning was to go and simply collect her tractor, pay for the service and leave, and we left with a brand new Dutz with about 400 hours on it, because Ben saw it and went, and I looked at it and I went, what do you think? And he went, yeah, I think we should have that. So we done a deal with Hunter. He kept her tractor.
Okay, yeah.
And we upgraded to the Dutz. She appears at every tractor pull.
I've seen her.
She does a lot of towing and a lot of work for us. Still very low hours in that tractor. There's less than 2,000 hours on her, and she's now nearly 4 years old. So
It's not megalores, though.
No.
But it's a nice Norris.
nice one, yeah.
She probably does a lot. She probably does pulls a digger or pulls something or pulls a dump trailer or whatever. Maybe
nice size, that tractor.
Yeah, for a few days, and she maybe sits idle for a few days, and she probably does a few more days
That's what
work.
she's doing. She's a move stuff around tractor. And she's the right size for it. Getting in gates, getting in around sites on her utility side. We actually took her out to Scotland to a cable job. That was her first job for about 9 months, and she was simply hauling in sand and CBS. And Jason, my brother, drove her out there, and done brilliant, fantastic tractor. Will she stay in the fleet? Probably not.
You think she'd be traded up for another?
I think we're heading for a case.
Oh,
we're getting very fond of case down around BRM. So possibly a Puma or an Optim or something like that. So
they are a lovely looking machine.
Beautiful.
I think I prefer the new cases over the new Hollands.
I would have to agree.
Yeah,
and I've drove before a 150 CVX and did love her, to be fair.
Yeah.
The CVX compared to the Fendt Vario, a lot more whiny at that time, but they may have obviously got them better.
Yeah. I like the range of them. Like a lot of those cases now are sitting around 240, 260 horsepower. Nice size, still a nice, reasonable size of a tractor.
Yeah, they're not too
they're not massive. Great looking tractor, and we're looking at that. Watch that space. You know, we'll see what happens.
With the restoration side, then, Stephen, the tractors that you did buy, were you buying them and they needed a bit of work done or a lot of work done, or were you buying them and they were mint boxes basically, and you were just doing a wee bit of tidying, or?
The all of the above, maybe.
Well, the Wee Blue, you all know Wee Blue, quite a famous wee tractor.
And it's right, yep.
That was the very first tractor when we started the restoration business. And me and Dane when Vinny were all standing in the shed, and I said, well, you know, how are we going to prove or demonstrate that we can actually do this business? And what's the first thing you're going to ask when you go to a restoration business? Can I see some of your work?
Yep.
True, yes.
Yeah. We didn't have any work. Dane came from that background. He's absolutely superb at what he does. Legend of a man. He can work on an engine. He can finish a tractor immaculately. So I bought Wee Blue, and I said, well, just spend the next 3 months doing that. And between our own work and the business and that, he left her absolutely immaculate. And that's how we kicked the whole thing off. We started taking her to tractor pulls and shows, and people started to see her and ask questions. And one thing leads to another, and the next thing you've got your first order, you've got your second order, and now we're sitting with 14, 15 projects in the yard. We're probably about 9 months to 12 months ahead in rest.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've at least 12 months ahead in restoration projects. At the minute in the shed, we're working on a 7810 Ford.
Yes.
Beautiful
Lovely,
project. MB track.
Nice.
If you wouldn't mind two Egypts landing down for a nosy to see around,
you'll be more than welcome to come down and do a podcast down there and see what's going on.
That would be
around. We've got a 956 in at the moment. We've just finished. I'm sure you saw Wally Thompson's 8090 reversible.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes,
one?
I know the fella who previously owned it.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay.
I think that came from Paul O'Hara in Arbo. I think he owned it briefly.
Yes, that's correct. Paul owned that tractor.
Is that an NI tractor, MAW or something like that?
Yeah. That tractor's...
That's class.
That's class. You know what I mean? When I saw Dean the first time, like turning the steering wheel around, turning the seat around, driving it, you know, obviously him back to front in the cab across. It takes you a minute, you know, when you're watching it, at the window of the office, you're like, is he driving that tractor backwards? But he's actually facing backwards, you know. And brilliant job we made of it. Wally's delighted. We done Owen Higney's 11090 there, just finished it as well. Beautiful tractor, and thank you to Wally and Owen. I'm sure if you were down at Rev It Up, you noticed the two tractors just sitting inside the main gate.
Yes.
So, you know, the two guys kindly let us demonstrate what we can do. And they say that restoration business has absolutely taken off. And now we're doing some, you know, minor lorry restoration work.
That makes sense.
We're doing some diggers, we're doing bits and pieces, and it's all done in between your own main business. And look, obviously I'm guilty of getting the guys to do quite a bit to my own stuff, especially when it's coming up to Rev It Up time.
Why not though?
when you have restoration, of course. Yeah.
If you could have anything, you want to set out, you're going to buy a classic tractor in the morning. What are you looking at? What are you thinking? Fuck, that's what I want.
Yeah. 1455 International still my favourite classic tractor. I mean that's a phenomenal tractor. I'm very interested in something like a 385 or 380, 385 Magnum, something like that.
Yes.
Going up to that bigger one.
Did the old 7250s or any
Lovely
of
tractors.
Yeah.
I actually bought a 135 Massey Ferguson, and to be honest with you, the 1130 Massey that we've just bought is one of my favourites as well. You may have seen her at Revvv Up. She was
she the American style
She's the American style yacht.
She didn't come from nearly around here too, did she?
We bought it from Doncaster.
Okay, because there's a fella just over the road as well.
That tractor was bought 2 weeks ago, needing a full restore, and my team restored that fully for Revvv Up in a fortnight. Wow. You know what I mean? It's a phenomenal job they done. You may have seen Noel driving her up and down and rolling in the track, and like that tractor's 1969, and she caught everyone's attention on that track.
But she would. She's class.
And you stand looking at it and you're like, this tractor's, you know what I mean, wow, where'd this come from? And she sits up so high, you know what I mean, she's around about 140 horsepower, that machine.
But in 1969, that thing would have been a weapon.
That would have been a giant.
Like a quad
a giant. You know, you can imagine at that time, you know, even going forward, but after that, the 1210s and so on, Davy Browns, they don't sit any bigger than that 1130.
No, definitely not.
So, iconic machine, one of the biggest two-wheel drives there, and just had to have it. To be honest with you, I just loved it. I saw one in Cranford.
Okay.
At the Pull.
It wasn't Sheehan's, was it?
I'm not sure who it was owned it, but I saw it going up the track, and I stood sort of back in the crowd, and I walked around and had a look at it, and I said, yeah, if I ever get the opportunity to have one. And it came on. I was simply browsing through the internet, and a Sunday, as I always be, looking at different bits and pieces.
It's addictive, yep.
And you know, you're flicking, you're having a look at all these things, and then boom, this thing appears. Talked to the guy for an hour or two in Doncaster, and he says, look, we'll do a deal. Brought her home that week. Dean, Kyle and the team done a fantastic restore on it. It looks brilliant, and I just had to have it for Revvv Up. Obviously, I like the old Super Major that my brother drives, Jason. You seen the full restore we done on that?
Aye.
And like we owned one on the farm, as I said, years ago.
A lot to be said for the nostalgia.
I always wanted a Super Major, so we got that one again. It was bought over in England and brought it over last year. She didn't have a great Revvv Up one. She didn't get too far. We had the wrong. We thought putting new tyres on was the secret, but it wasn't. So we have modified that tractor into harvester wheels in the back now, and she done brilliant. She was well up the 60-70 metre mark.
Some
and again,
change from her not moving last year.
She's 56. She's 1956.
She's as old as that.
She is, and that tractor's older than the Massey, and she's right up there competing with, you know, the best of them on two-wheel drive.
I didn't think the Super Major was as old as that.
Well, that's what the guy, when I bought the tractor, I hadn't much paperwork on it, but he reckoned she was around that age. So, going off what he said.
Is there anything other than a 1455 now that would probably catch your eye if you were to see
wanted one of those 820s, and they're so hard to find.
But they were everywhere for a while.
Yeah, and now you can't find them.
Did they all go to export, or did they just?
I think so. And a lot of people's putting them away. You know, if you actually go on, and I've searched, and I only could find one for sale in the last sort of 2 months in Wales, and it was sold within 24 hours. And this one that was in the north of Ireland, it came on. Was it Facebook on the Saturday afternoon, and I rang the guy from just up the Kealey here. And he says, look, I have 3 people coming to look at this tractor tomorrow morning. The first one is in at 9 o'clock. So it was actually my daughter's birthday that evening. So I had to leave their birthday party early and drive to Kealey to buy a Fent in the middle of the night. You know? So she's a nice one. What else do we have down there? We've a range of small stuff. We have a small 580 Fiat that we've bought, but that's more of a donor tractor.
3-cylinder?
Yeah, we 3-cylinder one. The 1255. She's a nice machine as well.
I thought you said a 1255.
We had a 1255 there, and we're working at getting, doing a few bits and pieces for her. She's a lovely machine as well. So there's just, look, as a lot of the guys in the tractor community, I'll tell you, where do you draw the line? There's so many. It's addictive.
100%.
So it really is.
Same as the cars.
And having different tractors and different things, you nearly need to switch off the internet and just go out for the day, go for a walk. Don't look at tractors.
I spend my days at Facebook Marketplace. But I'm looking at silage harvesters. I'm like, I have no fucking more need for a silage harvester, but I'm just looking at it going, if I got, that's good money. That's where, and would even sell it. No, because I'm a hoarder.
And you convince yourself. You sit there on a Sunday, you convince yourself. I think I maybe will do this. Like,
I say I've ended up with so many cars, but it's honestly, I'm looking at it, and I said I'd never get that way with the farming, and now it's starting, and now I'm starting to get kind of worried.
Like, you have the 820 fence, but the shape before them, the real squared ones, is a 920 or something.
You got like a 515 and that sort of stuff.
Or the real big one, is it a 920 or 930 you got?
The square one. Yeah,
they're cool.
They are. They're very
beautiful.
cool looking.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose.
Then you look at Adrian's big fence there. You know what I mean? Wow.
The 942.
So impressive.
And he actually, was he telling us the other night he had a 1050 and he gave her back?
He had a 1050, I think, for a year to 18 months.
Yeah.
And it was just too big, whereas he doesn't mind putting that fence on top or something. She has to work, obviously, 9 to 10 months a year.
Very impressive at any pull event. You know what I mean? She's huge. I mean, I think I saw her on the bridge weighing in at nearly 15 ton.
Oh, every bit of it.
And there was 14.9 or something without weight. Mm-hmm. So absolutely massive. That Magnum, which I thought was a big tractor, she's only 11.5 ton. That's what she is.
That's actually quite light for the size of her too.
And you think looking at her, she's big, but then stick on that massive fence, and she's 12, 13, 14, nearly 3.5 ton heavier.
I think Kilns is 8740 something similar. That's a big tractor as well.
I saw that tractor was up, but
it was. Because there's a picture of the two of them together,
and I saw the picture of the two. The fair play, the Kiln guys came up and enjoyed the event, and they actually talked to me on the Saturday and said, "Would you mind? We'll bring up one of the big ladies," and it was good to see her in the track.
But again, you're not that far away.
No, those guys they're Eglinton based, I believe, as well, or down around that area. They're somewhere down there, and what are they, 25 minutes from the track, 30 minutes
they're not
most.
Far, they're not far.
Especially the speed of the bigger stuff too as well.
Absolutely.
No time,
look, the entries came thick and fast. We had, at Revvv this year, there was always the debate around how many can you get through.
Yes.
And every event organiser wants to offer as many people an opportunity to get on the track as you can.
Yes.
I don't like turning people away.
Of course not.
I'm guilty of that. And everyone's guilty of maybe bringing in too many tractors, and then some people say that spoils the event because there's too many to get through, and you don't get your 2 goals, and you don't do this.
And we've seen that happen a couple of times.
We've seen that happen, so you got to get that balance right. So
absolutely.
We went for, we thought what was reasonable for both sleds was 125 tractors, and I think we ended up with 125 plus the super farm stock, so it took it about 130, 131 tractors.
It's not.
But the way the track this year at Revvv has been constructed and built, it did make the thing faster and more efficient. We got into a rhythm. We actually got into more of a rhythm on Sunday than we did Saturday.
You were used to
it. The first pull, believe it or not, it's interesting stat. I clocked it. I watched 11:20. We started the first pull on Sunday morning, and at approximately 6:30 that evening, we had all 125, 130 tractors through.
Savage going
with 2 pulls each.
So that's good. That's not a long day.
Now there was no breaks. Admittedly, we did send the burgers and the chips and the drinks to the tracks to keep everything moving. There was maybe a quick loo break and we move on. But on the Saturday we did stop, but it was a longer day. Everyone enjoys a longer day. We're going to be on that track right through to the fireworks at 11 o'clock.
Well, that's the thing. Saturday you nearly have, not to kill time, but you can play with the time. Sunday people are wanting to get home, get the reins to bed, get whatever. You're actually touching on it where we were going to go. We're going to bring it into 25 anyway because we've so much to talk about. But let's roll her back to basically, would it be the start of this year, or maybe would it have been about March time? You're standing there in a field in Dungiven that's in a bit of a hollow. Where do you go from there? Where do you start?
February time, March, you're right. We stood in that field. Obviously, we did want to run Revvv again. There was never a question that we wanted to do it. Could we do it?
Yes.
could we have a facility that would make it worthwhile? The last thing I want to do is bring all the guys down, and I appreciate the expense and things that go to bring their tractors and load loaders, and some people travelling from Donegal, some people from Monaghan, some people from the South England. So if you're going to commit an event, you need to be ensuring that your event is fit for purpose.
Correct.
Of course,
Yes.
You know, that was
100%.
my first concern. And the Revvv event in February was not fit for purpose, and we could see that. The field was sitting, it was a mess. There was probably, I don't know, a metre deep of bog.
But it is bogland anyway to begin with.
Anyway. So we stood one night, a very wet evening, myself, my brothers, the Smiths were there, Noel Watt called in, and we looked at it. The task was huge. The journey was going to be big to try and do something for July. But Peter and my brother Peter, my cousin Michael, my sons and the Smiths and things, they all got involved and come out and said, look, we'll give as much time as we can to it. And some of the guys were there day and night. Like Peter, my brother and Michael have literally been in that field since February. We plant machinery. We mass excavated out 160 metres long by about 25 metres wide, going down 2 metres deep. So
And that's the main track, so to speak.
we just mass excavated the whole place out. And what we done is you may recall in Revvv up the year before, the weight park was up towards the top right hand corner of the field.
Yep.
But it got very soft and
Yep.
the tractor started to bog, and you seen the videos. So we took there was a mix once you got down a bit, there was a mix of heavy blue clay and stuff. So we actually took that all up to that corner of the field. That's how we disposed of it. And we got a D6 dozer and we raised the level of the field over there for the lawnmower park up about a metre.
Right.
Because if you look where the tractors were parked at the lower side to the top,
There's a brave climb,
there was some climb
which
there.
there wasn't last year.
There wasn't there. So all the stuff that came out of the pull track went there.
Yep. Okay.
Then
Well, that makes sense.
We decided then to pull 2 master drains across at either side to take the water off it.
So are you talking about basically either side of the track?
Off the track.
Yeah.
So we pulled master drains right across the field, deep as well, filled it with stone. And then we cleared all the drains right around the perimeter of the field and tied in all the land drains. So no water essentially was going into this area. Tried to divert all the water away.
You essentially dug like quite a shallow slurry tank, technically.
Yeah, you could have built a tank in there, yeah, at one point. And then we every sort of 5-6 meters we took a drain across diagonally,
Yeah.
right across, and we filled it. We filled their stone. We took all the soft spots out of it. We used Taram. We used the heavy geogrid to try and take all the
Yes.
soft spots out of it, and we ended up with a huge excavation. We then transported in. Bob and Michael must have hauled stone for 2 months, and we had a heavy gravel mix going in initially, which was compacted in layers.
Yes.
Then we put on a layer of stone, and then we built the track up with clay and sand and lime, and made it proper pro spec stuff. Then it started to excite me. I says, right, we're somewhere in the region of maybe 18,500 tonne of material has gone into this track. You know what I mean? Do the maths on it. You know, you take your 160 long, and, you know, 25 metres wide and you're 2 metres deep, multiply it up, it's about 18,500 tonne of stuff.
Every bit of it.
Fuck.
And we then decided to go for it. Let's try, and I spent a lot of time looking at definitely going for twin sled track.
Aye, because that was the game changer last year. I walked off
It
last
worked
year
so
just
well.
going like
Yeah.
that was a fucking 1.5. That was a game changer.
Yeah. So we looked at how do we build this. We looked at our design as to get a tractor on safely and get them off safely and quickly into track 2.
Yes.
So we were all about, from the very start, it was about none of this do your pull and go away and line up again and come back. It was always going to be do your pull, do your second pull, and if anybody's weighing up, sit back to the weigh park.
Aye, because then they can go and join to the 7.5. Say they're at
Correct.
5.5, they can go
They can jump
7.5.
up a
Yeah.
class, and it gives them time.
Yep.
So guys, it's always weighing up. Looks at Shane Potter, looks at Ken Cook. You know, some of my own guys, some of the Higgerty guys. They're always weighing up.
Yep.
So I'm saying, well, there's your time now. You have your time. Do your 2 pulls. Away you go. No rush. Put your weights on. Back over the bridge. Back into line again. And then safety was prime for me. How am I going to make this safe? So the guys that's coming along to watch want to be on top of the track.
Yeah,
You want to see,
they want to get their TikToks.
You want to
and all
see,
that,
you want
yeah.
to see the action. So you had the dilemma of, okay, the public's coming in, they need to see, but you also have the competitors, which is, you're talking 125, 150 people in there who also want to do their video footage. So I said, what we'll do is we'll create an embankment all the way around, and you can see the big hammerhead, it runs up and goes around. And then the game changer was we put the safe zone up the middle.
That was class.
You know,
I have a great video of that from the Friday night where just in the lights where there was nobody there, it's just empty, and you can just pan the camera the full way around, and you just see everything. And it's I was like, this is unreal.
Location.
Yeah, it was brilliant. We come up with that idea. Let's fence it both sides.
Yeah.
Let's put a safe zone in. Great for the film crews, they could actually see the scaffolding and they can set up, and then we fenced the whole way around. And the embankment, to be fair, provides good safety. We were always going to run super farm class.
Yes.
You know, up to 1,000 horsepower tractors. They're fast.
Oh yeah.
They're hard to control, and they can be dangerous. They can move around in the track. And as you see, and I think there was one pull where he actually went into the embankment on the Saturday.
Aye.
So it was just proof, everyone was a bit nervous about it, but he hit the embankment. Tractor was safe, crowd was safe, and I was very happy about that.
And you also it also has to be worth mentioning that Noel Watt's sled is a proper tractor pulling spec sled, so he is like the deadlock and all that there.
He hit the deadlock, the tractor simply hit the embankment, deadlock on, nobody is in any danger, and it works. You know what I mean? But it was just that engineering. Then the next part was, now we felt that, right, okay, we've got the track fairly good. The ingredients did work. I mean, we decided we done a test pull on it, and it worked well. I went out, got carried away, was warned to do 3-4 pulls in the case, ended up doing 14 and taking the cylinder head gasket out and bent the valves in it. Not nice.
No.
Yeah, there was a lot of frantic mechanical work done, and parts flew in that week to get to rev it up.
You were obviously enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
14 pulls.
Got carried away. Yeah, very, very excited. Yeah, I mean, then the mechanical team gave me a bollocking over it, so they did. But anyway, it was a fantastic day. And then we were looking at the layout of the field then. So I think the layout at Rev It Up's field is fantastic. You have all the tractors coming in, as you know, they come in gate 3.
Yep.
They go along the bottom, they now weigh in.
Yep.
They go round safely into the different lanes. We put up full stock proof fencing. We have built full hard core roads all around the field.
Seen that as
so
well,
there's
yes.
no more sticking or bogging or wasting time.
You can
because
pull
again, these tractors are coming on. You mentioned there Adrian's tractor at 15 ton. Well, how the hell's a bog field going to stand up to it? So we made hard core roads all the way around that those big machines could sit on them. There wasn't a single tractor stuck at the weekend. No one got bogged. There's no delays trying to pull people out. We then fenced off the entire field that the audience could get right down to see the action and go right back and see the tractor still in the lanes, as you noticed.
Yes.
Good layout.
Absolutely.
But also then we opened up the top left-hand side for the racing lawnmower park. We brought the kids nicely into the middle, so the way the roads are 360, we put a full motorhome spec across the top. All the electric and power points are all up there. Full infrastructure build, so that actual event field now has fibre in it. It has power. We put street lights along the track for night poles. Each of the 3 gates has street lights on them. There's manholes built right throughout the park for all the sound system, the cabling, etc. We created the kids park. Then we decided we'd create a trader park, which was a great hit. People would walk around all the trader stalls. The food park then is lovely position just as you come in. And you can walk down, and you noticed all the chip vans, coffee shops, etc., all down along the far side. What I liked about that is I went up and I checked it on Saturday. You can go far enough back from the action to get a bit of peace and quiet, have your lunch. You can still actually see the action.
Yes.
But you're far enough back that it's not disturbing you at your lunch.
I noticed that as well when we were walking actually round. It was
and the stretch marquees over it. Wow. Game changer there in the field. Beautiful. You sit inside if there's shower rain, still have your lunch. We then decided to double the size of the marquee. The guy putting up the marquee said complete head case. He says not required. Absolutely wrong call. The marquee was packed, and then we decided to change the market in the event.
This is a really interesting point. I really want to touch on this. And if you had brought this up, I would have brought this up because you said this outside. This is so interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely thinking out of the box.
Yeah. Well, we decided then, how do we get this event that it's a tractor pull, but it's going to appeal to everyone? So if you want to take your wife or your girlfriend or your family or whatever, what's going to encourage them to come along? And the tractor pull community is an easy sell community. They're coming anyway.
They're going to support.
We're all on tape.
Yeah.
We all know where there's a tractor pull. We know what's happening. We know who's running it.
And a chance to pull on a good track.
Yeah. So we're going to turn up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that Noel's running his pull now in 2 weeks' time. We'll all be there. You know what I mean? So I decided then in business, I says, like, well, we don't have to market this to these guys. They're sold.
Yeah.
So how do we get everyone else there? So we changed the entire event to a festival. And we started driving. We employed an event manager. We employed a social media expert, Alan, and we employed Brian Moore on the event side. And my team got together and we had 2 meetings a week for at least 10 weeks leading up to Revvv Up. And we decided then to go full throttle festival.
Because I noticed that actually it started being the Revvv Up Festival, and I was like,
yeah.
And it's subconscious.
Yes.
Like you nearly over time, you're like, Revvv Up. And then by the time you said to us on the Friday night, you were like this is going to be a festival. I have live bands and all, and the penny just dropped. And I was like, literally, that's what they've been telling us that all along.
Yeah. So we at the event, we decided we built the roads specifically to keep the marquee not that far away, but far enough away that the sound system that we were running on the event track wasn't actually interfering with the bands inside.
Yes.
And to be fair to Rob Andrews and his team, done a fantastic job. That one that you could actually I felt it, I tested it a few times during the weekend. You could walk in towards the marquee, you could clearly hear the commentary going on. By the way, Ernest Burrows and Paul Fielding had a massive shout out. 2 fantastic commentators at the weekend. And last year, Paul Higgerty, brilliant. But as you walked into the main marquee, one just switched over to the other. You went from the commentary to the live music.
Yes.
And that was
There's a lot more to that than you would think. I was as well with the audio engineering.
Audio engineering was brilliant.
Yeah.
And you literally could nearly, at the door of the marquee, you could step forward like that and you could hear a live band. You could step back like that and you're back in the track again.
But the masterclass as well, even in the marquee, was the screens. So you could go on and enjoy it.
Yes. So we took a decision to go up market in the marquee this year. Full carpet. Like we went to England and brought on event carpet. You know what I mean? To finish it.
Right.
Yeah, we went and researched that, put down a proper carpet. We decided to bring in, you've seen all the table covers, the seats, everything was finished to a corporate spec.
That's actually probably the best way to describe it. Yeah,
it was proper
corporate spec. Yeah,
made it very comfortable for people to come along that maybe wanted to come with a partner but didn't want to look at tractors.
Well, you were saying literally, like, where else do you go and enjoy a cocktail?
Exactly, a cocktail, the tractor pull.
But a cocktail at a festival you would have.
Yeah.
So, it fits the bill.
But a cocktail at a festival, yeah. So the main marquee was designed with the inside bar and the outside bar. I'm sure you noticed that. So the guys outside could come across from the track, grab a pint, back to the track. Didn't have to come inside. But the guys inside who were there for the festival side could go down to the back, grab a pint and just go back to their table.
Yep, sat and listen to music and occasionally look up just to see.
My mum and dad, my mum couldn't see obviously, but my dad sat beside and told them what was going on, and they sat all day, both days, at the massive screen right in front of it and watched what was going on. So they weren't out trying to see what was going on. It was lovely that those guys could see the big screen, and the live link was fantastic.
Yeah.
People they were watching it from all over the world. I had people in Italy, Portugal sitting watching this live link. We're away on holidays and they just said we watched it all day. It was fascinating and the quality was fantastic. I brought in a full production team. There were specialists came in with 3 cameras on the track, and you noticed they were switching from one side to the other.
Yes.
It wasn't just a fixed frame.
Aye.
And you were catching the action all the time. So we're literally just going on track one as the pull finished, you were switching straight away over to track 2. And you're keeping up with action all the time.
There's a lot to be said as well, and what you have done is basically the perfect example of this. Is it's just turning the knob a wee bit on stuff. Like there's other places have marquees, there's other places have had bands, etc. But it's just turning the knob a bit more and just saying, yeah, you can do that, but also put your TVs in there, you know, have the live bands, have whatever. And you were even saying about on the Friday night to us about like, where do you go from here? Like even for, because then I remember I said, and this is where, as I said, the penny dropped, because I said, but you're talking about the polls would, you know, if you're bringing on bands, would that not disturb the polls? And you said the poll ends at late at night, and then you're like, hey, what if you were to send people over then till a stage and there was a big act come on? Maybe you don't want to rehash the names and all you're talking about. Maybe that's for another time. But, you know, even you're talking about the future, and fuck me, you hadn't even started polling on the Saturday yet. And you were already starting to talk about the future.
Yeah, well, we'll come to where it's going. But what I found at the weekend, my team invested heavy in terms of time and effort making it a festival.
Yes.
And we had 10. So people, it was very reasonably priced, the festival, and a lot of parents were coming and saying, "So how much do we pay now for the kids' park and so on?" I said, "You don't pay anything.
Yeah,
it's in the ticket price, and go in there and enjoy yourself." So we fired a team on in the kids' park, which meant parents could come in and the kids could just go into the kids' park. So the kids are happy, they're away. In that kids' park, we had balloon modelling, face painting. You know, there was a T-Rex walked past me at one time. I said, "Where'd that T-Rex come from?" You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you see them running around. We had magic shows. We had the kids were full throttle. My daughter went in there on Saturday morning, 20 hours later before she came out again. You know what I mean? Her legs were sore, bouncing around a kids' park all weekend.
Yeah,
and me and my wife didn't worry about it all weekend. That was one of the big things parents commented on. This site was dead safe. Those kids were locked in. I had full barriers, 360. I had staff on that to make sure the kids couldn't go anywhere. There was no kids got lost. No kids went anywhere dangerous. The full throttle action down on the track was all, as you know, is fully enclosed. So it's not going to interfere with anything. The racing lawnmowers were all enclosed. Trader Park was enclosed, food park, etc. And I had 25 to 30 security staff on site all weekend, watching and dealing with any issues that came up. Plus 35, 40 of my own staff on site, moving things around. The toilet facilities, baby changing, game changing. Private female, private male, cleaned every half an hour. Facilities were kept immaculate. And I have to say a massive thank you for Revvv Up 25 to the amount of positivity in the last 48 hours has gone out across all the socials. We've had people on commenting about how good it was, how they enjoyed the day. The bringing back, I thought it was fantastic to bring back some of the old school entertainment, like a tug of war that you haven't seen in these festivities for a long time.
You hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, like I remember my dad when he was part of the young farmers back in the day. The tug of war was such a big thing." But it's always my dad who's doing it. It's not.
Yeah. So Garva, Jim McLaughlin, and the guys over from Dripperstown, Mononina all came over. The pros came over. I was standing looking at it, and I don't know if you saw it on the Saturday, but like when those guys, you know what I mean, when they pulled that rope. And they were sitting for about 5 minutes. Nothing moved. The tension and the skill of it was phenomenal. Yeah.
But you were looking at it at the same time, going, "How hard is it really?" And then
then we went and had a go, and we realised it was quite hard.
Yes.
And then the kids all came in. All the wee boys came in. There was about 60 to 20 of those guys came in and had a go. And the break gave the tractor guys a chance to go around and enjoy the day. They were all staying away getting their lunch.
Yes.
We stopped the pull, and the crowd started to then drift over towards racing lawnmowers, towards tug of war. And I have to say now, in both days, the energy in that field was fantastic. There was a feel-good factor going on across that whole park. People were out, and they were having a brilliant time. Thousands and thousands of people came, and the feedback we've had, we've nothing negative. Revvv It Up is firmly on the map this year. It's there. The guys on the tractor side have come back and just said, the track's phenomenal, and there's limitless opportunity there to do whatever we want to do with it. You know what I mean? And it worked. And then we had our little, I like the fact that when the drivers came in the morning, we all had our breakfast rolls and we had our cup of tea, and we had our safety talk. Yeah. And we worked out our teams, who was running track 1, who was running track 2. We had proper marshals. Rules were enforced. The thing was fair. Yep. And we introduced the full modified and farm class trophies. I think we had somewhere in the region of 160 trophies across the weekend, and lots of show pole trophies, lots of young driver of the year, best newcomer.
Yes.
All sorts of different bits and pieces going on. We had raffles, we had an auction. It was, you know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of time to catch your breath. Let's just say the 2 days went very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one event. There's nobody saying, but what if? There's nobody saying that.
No.
And
maybe more, but why?
Like, it seems it's very rare nowadays that there is no, but what if?
Yeah.
You know, there's, as you say, there's been no criticism at all.
No.
Because just as you spent a long time now saying, Stephen, you did think about everything. Like literally everything.
You mean the perfect example, as you were showing us this before we started recording here, is your woman who was literally going through TikTok, and she's talking about the day at Revvv Festival.
Yeah, I loved that. So I did. Yeah, she actually took us on her journey.
Yes.
Off the park, and I loved the fact she talked for a good few minutes about the trailer park and what was in the trailer park, and all the candy and the stuff for the kids park and the food park. And I loved when she got to the tratters, she says, yeah, and there's something going on at the bottom here, a lot of tratters going up and down, not sure what that is, but you know, it was a festival for her. She came to enjoy a festival and she loved it. And it look, at the end of the day, that's what the marketing set out to do.
That's what I was going to lead on to.
I wanted to see, could we get the ladies and the kids into that field and enjoy the day as much as the guys around the tratters. And the amount of people said, look, my wife's up in the marquee enjoying the music, my kids are over in the kids park having a ball, and I'm down here having a pint watching the tratters.
You couldn't beat that.
You literally can't beat that.
You couldn't beat that.
We weren't sure if we could manage that and would everyone come, but we're completely overwhelmed with the support we have. And I have to say to everyone, the competitors, the staff that was there on the day, all the people that turned out, and I said earlier, like, everyone's important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can't run that event without everyone playing a part. Whether it's it's the man driving the sled, the lady in the flag, or it's the guy taking the measures, or the guys cleaning the toilets. It takes everything, and blessed with the sun. It was a wet morning. You'll remember Saturday morning. I was worried about it. It was quite heavy rain from sort of 7, 8 o'clock. And when we opened the gates at 10, 10:30, the sun came out. And you know what I mean, I'd forgot my sun cream. That's why I'm fairly sort of odd colour of pink here this evening. We took a burning, and it was beautiful.
But do you think if the rain had come on, would it have damaged it that much?
Not the track. We had heavy shower rain on Saturday evening, or Sunday evening, and everyone went inside for an hour. That track, no matter how heavy the rain is, and you know the amount of rain that fell in the lead up to that event, there was 3 weeks of rain, heavy. The field will flood before the track.
Yeah.
And I saw that. On Monday we were down, the torrential rain came on, and along the side of the stone footpaths, everything had sort of flooded. But the track, when you went down maybe an inch and a half, you were back onto dry sand again.
Yeah.
But that's what it needs to be. You know, that's what this country, like, we're not blessed with good weather.
Nope.
We're not blessed that we can have sun 360 to 365 days a year. And if you want to have a spot, a hub, so to speak, where you can have reliable, fair, and efficiently ran competitions. I know you've even spoke about increasing the efficiency again. Like reliability. So is the track the same way, or can we maintain the track? Is it fair? You know, did the first boys get a good run, and then by the third boy went out, there was a massive rut? And as you say, there's no one coming back and stripping the track and digging it. Like that, if you get that nailed, well, like, the rest looks after itself.
It's nearly, for want of a better term, it's like an all-weather pull track.
But we need that. We had to have someone put that investment in. And you, like, I know another thing that's worth saying, and I can cut this out if you want, but like, that's not government funded.
No, I don't mind you talking about it. We didn't receive any funding from any third party. That was our own business that put that investment in. And it's like any business venture. You know, obviously we'll try to run events and we'll try to see if it works and take our investment back out of it. But of course, we took the decision to make the investment. All the support, the tractor pulls that take place across the country, I've encouraged them to continue what you're doing, because there's not that many event organisers.
Yep.
And I understand the effort they go to do it, no matter what size of an event it is. And we enjoy them because we as a family can go to somebody else's event and not have that high octane pressure all weekend if we're on an event.
You can enjoy
it's nice to be able to go and have a couple of pulls, enjoy your lunch, meet some of your friends, and come back.
And there is something nice to be said whenever you actually are just in the pulling community, so to speak. There is something nice to be said about going to the likes of, like, take Pomeroy at Christmas there. You know, we're pulling on an old MX track.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
That was class.
Yeah,
and it was the location was unbelievable. But you know, you didn't have this whole. I think there was a bit of a marquee, if I remember correctly, but there wasn't this whole mad thing about it. It was mainly just pulling and having the crack, and you were standing in the field, or well, not in that case, on the track, chilling with everybody.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said for that too. And I suppose you made a very viable comment earlier. You were saying, like, the aim for other pullers is not to look at you, or other pulling competitions, not to look at you and go, oh, that's our competition. No. It's a case of yous are trying to do, your aim is a festival.
Yeah.
It's like the pulling is part of it.
Never look at it that, you know what I mean, oh, their event, our event, what do we all need to do? People talked about, oh, you've raised the bar, you've raised the standard. Every event's important.
Yes.
And there's a big difference between what are you running?
Yep.
Are you running a tractor pull? Or are you running a full festival event?
And you take
they're two separate things. So us hardcore guys that go to them all.
Yeah.
If we're running a tractor pull, there could be 40, 50 tractors turn up, and we're there to do a tractor pull for the day and enjoy your day out.
And you take
Rev It Up is not that type of event. It's a full throttle weekend of everything. We had anything in that field, from sheepdog trials to live music to tractor pulling. So
where else do you get it?
That's a unique event. But when I talk to Noel Watt, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying, and he's been in, him and Harkey's family, them boys have been in that for 30, 40 years, way back. He said that he's been in the different committees over the years. He's been talking to guys in Holland, he talks to guys across the water in England, but Ireland has never really had a home for the sport where he could say, well, we can invite you across to run a championship event, and we can do that any time of the year. Well, that opportunity now is there for us. Okay, we may have to make a few modifications to the track, even from what we have.
Yes.
But I would love to see, the guys from England come across next year and join Rev It Up. They have approached us about that option to do that, and we'll welcome them talks. But could Rev It Up host a Euro event someday? Possibly.
Why not?
And that's what I would love to see the sport developing into, where we can bring these guys to our home and show them how we do things, and show them our facility.
Yeah.
But like I say, we've only been the architects of putting the thing there. It's now up to the whole community to get behind it and build it and make that our. You could have a grand finale there every year to say we'll all go up to Rev It Up, and that'll be our big showcase event.
Of course,
as you said earlier, it is central to where everybody is, and I have to say, all the guys that's in that community, for by those who were possibly in holidays, and that's maybe our fault because we had to release the date quite late, and I apologise for that. They were all there, and every one of them went away with a smile on their face.
And they'll all be there as well.
Yeah,
next
I think
year.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So the future's bright for it.
Well, what about the future then?
Yeah.
Suppose, like, where do you go from here? Like, the bar for what? And I'm not saying to compare against anybody else, but the bar you have set for yourselves
is very high.
Is very high.
Yeah.
And you don't strike me as the type of person that's happy to rest in your laurels or just sit still. You're going to push. So what are you thinking?
Well, the good news is Rev It Up 26 is going to go ahead.
Happy days.
We will confirm the dates a lot sooner. There'll be a launch event for it, and we'll do that probably in the next 6 weeks.
Okay.
So if everyone's listening, and don't panic about, because a lot of people have been writing in their messages and their reels and things, we need to know when it is because we want to go.
Yep.
And I appreciate your diary events or your holidays and your things you want to plan around that. It will be in the summertime next year. It'll be July, August again.
Yeah.
I just need to double check a few of the things that I'm going to be bringing, that the dates will fit in okay. But we will change the event again. There's going to be modifications to the track.
Okay.
There's going to be a different running order on it during the course of the day.
Yep.
So we've learned a few things from that.
And is the aim to do that to just get through it faster, or is it to get more tractors in?
Both. So I'd like to increase the number of tractors by getting it more efficient, but also like to get to a point where we can relax and pick out maybe 8 to 10 show pulls on the Saturday evening.
Yes.
And do a grand finale that evening, because we don't normally get the time. Usually, yourself at these events, you're pushed right to the limit.
Oh,
yeah, of
and
course,
then everyone's going out the gate.
Yep.
So, and even just to give maybe the guys in the sleds and so on a second break, give the track team another half an hour off the track and go and enjoy the event.
Yeah,
of course.
But Rev It Up 26 will be bigger again. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we're going to do something very special. I've got 4 or 5 things up my sleeve that's going to be exciting for people to come and see. The feedback we're getting, like you've seen the big grandstand and things we put out. I reckon we'll probably upscale that into 2 or 3 grandstands. We'll probably put I'm thinking about putting stretch marquees the full length of the track this time, right out to the edge of the track. That even if it rains,
you can still stand on the side of the track.
You're under cover. You don't have to leave the excitement. So we're looking at how we get the thing even more weatherproof. That if we do had a bad weekend, that it's still going to be, it'll be fine.
It doesn't matter, you can still enjoy it.
We're definitely going to do more on the kids' side again. They loved it. The music side is the bands we had are great. We are looking at potentially upstaging that a bit.
Higher profile,
go up to another level with the music, and possibly even separate the music into another field. We're studying that.
You did, and that was one of the things you did say though, and I didn't want to take that thunder away from you, but that is one of the things you said. But Michael, you finish the pulling here and then you go across the road to the other field, and it's like, oh fuck, I never even thought of that like that. And then you continue the party on till 1, 2 a.m. whenever you get your noise permit, basically.
If look, I'll go on record and say that if Rev It Up got to a stage where it grew in popularity and everyone and by the way, I like this approach. When we will post up over the next sort of 6 or 8 weeks, what would people like at the event? We're going to encourage ideas. So if someone came along and said, we think this would work really well, you know what I mean, we'll consider that if we can add it to the show. But it's going to become a production. It's going to become a high octane weekend where you come and you enjoy everything in the one place. And I'm bold enough to say that if Rev It Up outgrew that facility, I would change location to increase capacity if I have to.
Wow,
you know what I mean? That's not fixed. If I get to a point where it's that big and exciting, and we can get, we really can get the proper championships there and so on, and we felt that maybe infrastructure didn't support, the crowd, well then BRM Group would change location.
And how many spectators do you reckon where you're at the minute can hold?
I reckon you'd be comfortable at 20,000 in that location. Like you were at 10 at the weekend, and that festival field was not uncomfortable at all.
No, definitely not.
And if you actually noticed, we didn't even get round to the far side. A lot of people, I'm not sure they realised that you could actually go up to the top of track 1, walk all the way around the hammerhead, and come right down to the start line on track 2.
I did notice
no one likes to be too far from the beer. I understand that, but maybe we need to put a second bar on the other side and encourage people to go around there.
True, yes,
And the reason track 2 pulls, for those maybe watching and wondered what was going on, they were shorter. Well, you have a lighter pull on track 1. We try to get people as close to the full pull as we can. And it gives them an opportunity to see how their machine's performing. Is the gear right? You know what I mean? Am I the right range here? And then the sled on track 2. Some people say, sled on track 2 is too heavy. But it's supposed to be. It was set heavier because that's the one you stop the guys on.
Did people know that going in, or was that kind of like a wee surprise?
The guys on the track, the competitors knew that.
All right, okay.
I made that clear in the morning, but I think maybe the spectators coming along maybe didn't realise, or we maybe should have explained that better. Because a lot of people coming at me going, that track 2 doesn't seem to be performing too well. You see, the way track 1 and track 2 was built, I mentioned earlier, it was a mass excavation. So both track 1 and track 2 are constructed exactly the same spec.
Yes.
The bit up the middle, we just put that in after we built it. It's not like they were built different. So, as I said to the competitors, it doesn't matter if you run first or 28th. It's the same track, the same spec. We'll improve it next year. The engineering side of it will improve because we're putting dozers on it. We done land leveling this year, which is fine. We used diggers this year, again, fine. But the guys come with a suggestion to me over the period of the weekend and said, look, why don't you run a class, land level away, that's fine, don't interrupt it, but then run a dozer down it.
Just snap it off,
just grade it off and leave it perfect before the next class goes on. And sure, 5 or 10 minutes with a dozer would leave it right.
Here's a stupid question, or maybe you're like, that's not a bad idea. I don't know what way you think of this. If you were to build halfway down the track, say at the 50, 60 metres mark,
yes.
If you were to build sort of nearly like a bridge or a walkway over, is that something you would consider? Because then you could have maybe a section off that for boys to stand and record too, and if you could get it properly, obviously it has to be done correctly, but is that something you would consider?
Are you saying that you would use that for the spectators to cross?
I don't know. I suppose that's up to your discretion. But I'm just thinking, like some Mondello Park there, one of the racetracks, you can walk across the top. The only difference is they actually have a
it
block.
all boarded up,
You can't see. So you either have to stay on this side or you go to the other side. You can't
look down.
You can't look down.
Yeah, because I was just thinking there, the point you seem was covered was if you put the spectators on it, they'll just stand on it.
Oh, I 100%.
If they can see, and the bridge is blocked.
Yep.
I suppose it's thinking about how do you get people accessible to both sides.
Traffic management is what I'm thinking. If you can get people to go around.
The bit in the middle works so well because you can literally you watch track 1 and you literally just do a 180.
Yeah.
And you're on track 2.
And the
guys were doing that all day.
And that's a nice treat for the drivers. And I think that's a great zone for the drivers who have, who've paid to be there. And suppose and they're like going.
Do you go something easier whereby, I don't know what people would think of this, whereby you say, well, I'll just instead of it was closed at the top end. So the spectators couldn't come down the middle.
Yeah.
Do you bring that back to the 50 metre mark and make it fair? Half of it for the driver's side and let the spectators come down to the 50 metre mark in the middle?
I don't know the answer to that one.
Because I did notice and I watched it, a lot of the crew and the drivers didn't actually go up past the 50, 60 metre mark. It was quite, did you notice at the top end it was quite empty all weekend?
True.
And then somebody said to me, like, why didn't you open that to us? We could have stood in there. And I thought, well, okay, possibly.
Yeah, I suppose then. But I think a reason why a lot of the drivers like to start off is because whenever you initially come off the sled, there's the big kick, there's all the smoke because everybody's kind of building up the revs, and that's kind of where you get the good videos and the good.
Yeah.
And as the time as you go on up, it's starting to slow. That's probably why they don't film as much up there.
Well, I definitely stood at the 60 metre mark, just as you say, to get the majority of the pull, and
then back down again.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Now I will say one thing: the dress we put on the track was amazing. The start and the full pulls, all the banners, all the flags, real Daytona finish stuff. I have to say it worked on the socials very well.
It's absolute speedway vibe.
It showed a definition of what's going on here. So people watching in would have been saying, okay, I know you get there's a start and end to this. I understand it, and then because I had visitors over from England and they were saying, well, explain this to me. Is this time? Is this meters? How does this work? And then I was explaining quite easily, and they very quickly got how the track worked. But then I noticed Noel was saying one time, he was standing in the sled on this side when I was pulling, and he says, the steel post appeared. It's the 100 metre mark. It's quite a good, and then whenever they're reversing the sled back, so they could just put the front of it to the steel post.
True, yes.
It's quite easy to line everything up.
Yeah.
It's all visual. And worked quite well. So, there's nothing to worry. Where's the start line? Just reverse the front of the sled back. There's the post. Boom, stop there. And someone standing there, just line it up. Yep, that's you. Whoa. And away we go.
No, it's not like anywhere else where it's kind of off a pole that maybe has sunk and ground went on and someone's lifted it and put it back in. And
But like the videos I've watched with the guys are class.
I use some class videos, to be fair.
You
Connor.
know,
You've some
and
deadly.
the grand finale, wow, the Saturday night fireworks.
That was extremely cool.
We had Adrian Stratter and we had Ken and Alistair's Big Blue.
Yeah.
And we set the whole thing up. It was a big show, Paul. And fair play to Abraham, who was on the mic there, done the big countdown. And as the fireworks went up and the two big New Hollands took off, the Ford New Holland, boom, you know, it was spectacular.
Yeah. Oh. Aye.
And the kids and everyone was just standing. And I think we all had a moment where we just stood and went, wow. And you could hear the music going, and it was a very special end to a very special day.
But that's
on the Saturday.
Nearly probably what's going to become the party piece is. It's like nearly New Year's fireworks. It's going to be like what like I'm going for. See at the end when they have the track and what tractors are coming up this year.
Yeah.
Like who's it going to be this year with the fireworks and all that there and boys.
And
like,
what's the end of the show entertainment going to be?
Yeah.
And I don't know what anyone else is going to do or consider, but we're looking at how do we, you know, make that exciting. Are we going to change it? You know, could we do a drone show? Do we do fireworks? What can we do? Are we going to put fireworks on the sled the next time as they're going along?
We've
had all these different ideas now. What could we do with this? You know what I mean? We've had ideas around, well, we put a monster truck on the track and hook it to a sled.
That actually came under my head.
You know what I mean? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's put 2 monster trucks on and tow it up to the finish line. These are the sorts of things that we haven't just decided yet, but for people who are considering, will I go to Revvv Up 26, it is going to be something special. I can guarantee you that. And we have a lot of ideas, and as Lothians will know me personally, if I set my mind to something, it is happening.
I think we can very much say that you absolutely are happy to follow through on what you come up with. You're not scared. If you have an idea, you're just going to go, fuck, I'll do it.
You talk the talk and you definitely can walk the walk.
Yeah. Oh no, when I set my mind that we're going to do it, we will do it. One thing that changed as well this year, we actually, just for people coming to the event, we had the support of the local councils, so thanks for that. We had the mayor was on site, thank you to Oliver for coming. The fire service, the police service, the emergency services all came onto the site, done a full audit on the Wednesday and Thursday, checked everything over. Everything was certed, signed off, approved, entertainment licenses, everything's there. And you know, it was all official. It was a proper full festival official event. And and thanks as well to the ambulance service who were on site the entire weekend. They weren't busy, which was great.
Yeah,
it's
always a positive.
There was only a couple of wee maybe bumps and heads and things in the kids' park. That's all we had, and they had a ball. So, you know,
they actually got to enjoy the event, which is nice.
I think what's actually happened off the back of Revvv Up 25, it's a strange one because it's like the entire communities that were there are now proud of this event. It's their event.
Of course, yes, of
People
course.
are coming up talking about it now. You know what I mean? This Revvv Up, this is our event.
Yeah,
this is our local event.
This is what we have to offer.
It's spectacular. And like I've had a lot of people have actually written to me personally to say, how can I join your team next year? How can I help? Where do I register to be a part of this, to be on the...
Oh, the open soon. Boys looking to try and get volunteer.
We're way better than the open soon.
I would agree, actually. I can't stand golf personally. I don't understand golf at all. But that's just when you say that, it's just people so... It's not even we were saying the same. When we were standing earlier, I was saying, look, we're even ourselves, me and Connor,
want to get involved.
We want to be involved.
You did, and I appreciate that. And I say we're welcome. Everyone's welcome. We open arms to Revvv Up. Everyone, as I said earlier when we started this podcast, a business is like a family. Everyone has to play a part, and for Revvv Up to grow, and develop, it's not a BRM event. We are the architect or the sponsor of it. It's up to everyone now to grab it and grow it, and make it an event. I stood there on Saturday, and you had all the competitors, you have all the public, you have the guys that's running the food stalls, you have the production team, the sound guys, the marquee guys, the cleaners, you guys, everybody plays a part to make that a special weekend when we can all come away from it and say, wow, what a weekend.
But you have some team behind you.
Yes.
You have, and even like the likes, you take the likes of Owen Smith, like the Smiths.
Yeah.
But like,
those guys are up and down that track a million times.
Owen sending me Snapchats at any time of the day or night, just like getting ready for the pull, and I was like, "Jeez, you're a madman." But like, you know, and I seen that whenever it was still the Moss Hole, and you know, he was sending me videos from it and all, because obviously he likes to keep us updated with all the stuff going on. And I was like, Jesus Christ, them boys are insane.
We were all standing. I remember the Smith guys there. You had Niall and you had, and Owen. Ewan was busy getting all the stuff prepared in the screen. But I remember the surreal moment. It was 3:30 a.m.
Yep.
And it's Friday, and I was looking up towards the end of the track, and I see Johnny, my brother-in-law, Johnny Lynch, brilliant guy. My brother Vinny, they're up trying to strap up this banner.
That's right. Yeah.
At 3:30 in the morning. You've got Owen and the guys running around in forklifts getting everything into place. Me and Luke, my business partner, my director in the company, he's in, and we're trying to strap on banners, probably putting them on lopsided because we're that tired. And the next thing you hear is my 310 coming in the distance. Noel had went down. Obviously she had burst a pipe or whatever the hell she had done at Eglinton, and he went down in the middle of the night, fixed that with my brother, and I could hear her coming in the distance. And there was 6 or 7 guys. Tugwell's team was sitting inside. There was one guy just sitting sleeping on the seat. And there was these 6 guys sitting around looking at my programme, talking about 3.5 ton classes and 12T and David Brown's. And I said, guys, we're standing here at 4 a.m. in the morning talking about a David Brown 1210 tomorrow, and no one's going home. And it's that moment when you realise everyone is totally committed to this.
Oh, totally.
You know, and you know, the ladies in the office, they've given months of effort. You know what I mean? They were there all weekend, giving up their own time to run that event. And you know, credit to my wife Pamela and my family for the 6 months we went through day and night trying to put it there.
Whilst also trying to still manage a full-time business.
Whilst also trying to do your day job.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and like, you know, I mean, we do this for the love of the sport. We do this for the love of doing something that we can all go and enjoy.
Absolutely.
And everyone, there's an energy level at the minute that I've never experienced, whereby people are looking forward to Revvv Up 26. And it's going to be epic.
I'm buzzing.
Like in the Friday, whenever we drove up in your pickup, the first words out of my mouth were, "Holy fuck!"
Aye.
And then don't know if we should, in regards to PG, but it was just wow. But holy fuck!
Yeah,
we went out on the Sunday afternoon. It's quite a special moment because that was actually the first time we managed to get. It was Brian's sled. So massive thanks to Brian Johnson as well as Noel Watt's team. So Brian brought the sled down, and I was keen to get a sled onto the park to just see how the track would actually work. You know what I mean? It hadn't been pulled on.
Yep.
And Donkey 262 landed up and Jimmy. And we all went at it, and we were up and down the track for a couple of 3 hours, and the track was fantastic. It was working well. And Roshan landed out. That's Bob's wife. With we had a few sandwiches and bits and pieces. And we all stood in the track at 4 o'clock, and the sun was belting down, and my family was there. And when we realised that this is going to work, we were ready.
Yeah.
The thing was ready for takeoff.
Bring it on.
And it was just bring it on. And I knew I had a lot to build that week in the field, but there was an excitement factor.
You had the baseline.
And you could just feel it. And everyone was excited for that weekend to happen. And look, there was a lot of people came maybe not knowing what to expect, but they went away very happy.
Oh,
and saw something completely different. It's different to your traditional agricultural shows. You know what I mean? Where a lot of them is maybe livestock based, vintage shows. This is not that.
This is high octane.
And I may as well say that now in case I disappoint anyone who comes next year and says expect to see maybe
limousines.
That, you know what I mean? That's right, a few limousines and things. That's not going to be there.
No.
This is a high octane show that'll go on all weekend.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be exciting and different. And it's new. It is new because when we mixed everything together, I can't think of a tractor pull festival like it. I haven't been to one anyway.
Don't know.
So
not something we've ever seen. Like,
it's a new formula.
No, it definitely is.
and it took a wild set of balls to just go, yeah, do you know what? We are going to combine X, Y, Z, tractor pulling, boom.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, as well, you talk about, you know what I mean, someone having the balls to do it, but there's a corporate side to this as well.
Absolutely.
We are BRM Group.
Yep.
And we're exposing our business there. Mm-hmm. And
civil engineering.
We're putting our reputation on the line. And social media, how can you say this? When it's for you, it's brilliant.
Aye.
But if the event hadn't ran well,
it can be against you.
Aye.
You know, and the risk we took of damage to our business, of it not going well, was immense pressure.
Yeah, because the first thing would be them BRM boys, like utilities business, can't drain a field.
Yeah, they can't do civil engineering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we had a lot of our clients in the field that day. I mean, a lot of my main clients.
I suppose you were probably...
They were all there having a good time.
And which makes sense, actually, to be fair.
There was probably 30 to 40 of my own management team from England travelled across.
Aye, but why not?
Well, it's a corporate event.
Exactly, and let them enjoy it.
And they never seen anything like it. They were one guy, one of my clients, Woody, who was he was driving which one did he get? He went in the 820 way, and again, thanks to Aaron Connery, who got in and helped him along. Mm-hmm. He says, if this is what, the message I got today was, if this is what tractor pulling festivals are like, I've actually missed out on a lot in life, he says. You know, that's very good. So it is. Fair play, Woody.
That's class, eh?
They just thought it was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Where does all this stuff happen? Is this what this is all about? And to be fair, tractor pulling, like, it started, I think, in about 1929, 1930 in America. And when you look at some of the other big festivals and pulls that's going on across the continent, you know what I mean? You can see now how they work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we are, I think that sport and that whole tractor fest thing that's happening there, that's just going to grow.
100%.
You know what I mean? That is going places. That is the new era that we all talked about on Saturday morning. All the competitors actually said this is like a new era in Ireland of how this is going to run.
Do you know what I actually think there is an element of this, and maybe I could be wrong, you can correct me. We're going down the stage here now where everybody's been pushed into electrical vehicles and everything's like that. And look, I'm sure electric vehicles have their place as well. It's not something I could personally drive. There's nearly this rebellious streak in just seeing like big blue coiling black smoke out the exhaust, and the noise and everything. It's kind of nearly a bit of a to like the way we're being told to conform almost. Yeah. Do you know what?
But we all look at one of the things that everyone talks about. With full respect to the newer big machines, the big beasts.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people, it wouldn't be a tractor pull if you didn't have all the machines with the black smoke pumping out of them. And like everyone loves, as far as I could see it Revvv up at the weekend, everyone loves to be showered in diesel because that's what happened. The entire field was covered in it, and it's exciting. And then you have the super farm class boys come on, and my thanks to all the guys that came up from Monaghan, by the way, and brought all that exciting stuff up, and obviously Niall and the Homely Hornet, and how exciting was that? Oh, the phones, all you seen as soon as it took off, there was like 1 million phones up like this. You know what I mean? Wow. You know what I mean? This is so good, and that there, you know what I mean? I don't know what we're going to do if we introduce an electric tractor to drive down a tractor pull. It's not going to be too exciting.
No.
So long last the old classics.
The big horsepower, the black smoke,
and it is like a day where you can go modify your machine, and everyone loves doing a bit of modification, messing about with it and making it different and making it do whatever. But whenever you see the smoke and the noise, it's infectious.
Oh, 100%. The atmosphere is just...
On Sunday morning we opened the gates at Revvv up at 10 a.m. At 5 to 11 there was no standing room at that track. We didn't start pulling till 11:30.
Aye, so it was
ready.
Think
about that.
Yeah.
People were out early to get their place. At 2 o'clock I was to run an auction on the Sunday, and I spoke to our auctioneer, and we cancelled the auction. There was no point running it because there was I don't know, 2,000 people had found their place at the track. The stage was way back over here.
And
what was the chances of anybody leaving their place to come and stand at an auction?
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know,
But you know that now. You know that now.
we tried it on Saturday. The tractor pull stopped, and we just about made it work on Sunday. But we learned from that, and we won't do that again.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just run maybe a silent auction for the event.
Yeah.
Online, or maybe do a little raffle like we've done. That works okay.
Aye.
So you get these things that work and things that don't work.
Buy tickets behind the bar or something
Yeah.
like that there. You know,
Yeah.
if you buy.
But those machines, spectacular, and that I think they made the weekend. So that was the roundup of sort of rev it up for 25. Like I say, the feedback, the community thing, the tractor pull community getting behind it. I'm excited to see there's a lot of chat going on now. It's like Noel said, you know what I mean, there's this new lease of life in the tractor pull community. It's like, you know what I mean, we're good to go. Let's look at rules, let's look at committees, let's look at how we run this, let's formalise a few things. Well, I'm sitting back, obviously it'll have my full support, whatever the guys want to do.
Yeah.
We're there at open arms to see what's the ideas, and we'll support it the best we can.
Stephen, thank you so much for coming on, taking time out of your insanely busy schedule to come down here and
It's been a pleasure.
sit and chat shit with you.
I've been delighted to be here and just talk about
Appreciate that.
everything going on. It's an exciting time. Like
Honestly,
I say, I can see how everything is developing. I can really see how this is going to turn into shows, exciting shows, not just about tractor pulling, but we're
Just bringing it to Dungiven, the area in general.
Yeah, well, it's massive for the area. You know, there's not a lot of shows and big events goes on down there.
No.
And we've brought it home. Very proud to do that. Very proud. I'm sure the local communities down there are absolutely proud of what's going on. And I know they'll come out and they'll drive it and help.
Absolutely.
And we welcome that. But it's going to be exciting for every generation. There will be something at them events for every level, from the old generation to the young kids. There's going to be excitement in that field for everyone. And it's I think it was Alistair Cook coined it, a field of dreams. And I like that.
That's class.
You know what I mean? And I hope we do create a field of dreams that everyone can come and enjoy. Certainly we are going to go full throttle to make sure that happens. Watch out over the next few weeks for the launch. No doubt you guys will be involved. You'll be invited
love
to
to
come
be
along,
there,
and I hope you can make it. And we'll do a full launch event, which will give everyone plenty of notice of when we're going with it, what's going on, and then over the next sort of 3 to 6 months, we'll be starting to launch what's actually going to be happening at it. You know what I mean? Even our merchandise. You know what I mean? We ran out 2.5 hours, and my sincere apologies.
That's
at the
mental.
weekend, our Revvv Up stuff disappeared within the first 3 hours. You know what I mean? And we were trying to get stocked up, but we just didn't have enough stuff. So we're launching a website and that over the next 2 weeks. So watch out for that. So anyone who maybe didn't grab or get what they wanted at Revvv Up 25, the
They'll have it
website
now.
will go now in the next couple of weeks. Watch out for that and place your order, and we'll get it moving. But yeah, on behalf of myself, thank you for having me on.
Thanks very much, Stephen, for allowing us onto the track.
It's been brilliant to come down and meet you and talk all things tractor pull.
And we could probably sit and talk for the next 3
I'll
hours.
be here all night, but
Oh,
I need to
we're
get home because I'm working in the morning.
So will we.
So, we're recording this from the future, but
No. We're recording this from the past.
oh, aye, that's what I meant. We're recording this from the past, so I'm assuming the interview with Stephen went very well. So,
I'm assuming I've,
aye.
it's been
No,
great. interview.
well, it'll probably be another fucking 3-hour podcast. No one else like.
Well, to be fair, like we've recorded now for an hour and a half.
Not even.
Not even.
No,
Feels like it.
better.
So a normal podcast.
So a normal podcast then, basically. But sure, all our normal podcasts are all 3.5 hours long. Excuse me. So, but yeah, I think once again the work that BRM have put into this.
That's whenever you put it that way. I'm really sorry, but I'm just trying to laugh because I'm sure the conversation did go well.
I'm pretty sure it went well. Stephen's a good guy. Like, he's
and
very,
it's worse than whenever you edit this and after the interview, us just being like, Good chat.
Here, look. We could fluff that and go, Connor wasn't that fun. When we did do that at the start. We did do that at the start.
You
We
were
were
like, B-roll lad.
Connor wasn't that excellent. You're like, yes. To be fair, we haven't had a bad guest yet. Like, so you know,
No, we definitely haven't.
So, like, you know, it's a
To be fair,
hundred.
the last time I had this hat on, last time I had a hat on, that was baseball cap, was it was a disaster that day.
Was this like 2 years ago?
Yes,
Oh shit.
I have been a disaster in the night, which is good.
No.
Um,
Will I cut us in then? Tell the thoughts from the community.
you cut us in
We
there.
should really get like a wee sound roll made for that.
Yes, you should really get a wee sound roll made for it.
Okay, well, I am the one that plays the instruments, so that's Nathan Maher. Fuck it, that's Nathan Maher to do a wee sound cut for us.
Aye, or ChatGPT to see what it does.
Yeah, ChatGPT can do it as well, but Nathan Maher, from the heart. Nathan, if you're listening,
You can even join in with it and be like, "Woohoo! I've been told I have a good singing voice."
I'll get Nathan to send me something and then I'll try and throw a banjo or fiddle over it or something. Anyway, Jasper, what feeling and excitement for the new paddock drift track that Drift Games is just showing off on Insta? I think their original plan was I should have it ready for this bash, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I thought it was that they were like, but hey, like, look, just seeing what the amount of stuff they've done, like, I don't know how them boys do what they do. Well, I do. They utilise 24 hours out of the 24 hours that's available to them in a day. Fucking hell, like the amount them boys, like what they done to the low brain car.
True,
In,
yes,
like
very
literally 2.5 weeks. Mental. But look, I have to say the whole premises behind I suppose the tight technical track, the paddock track, is designed for lower horsepower cars. It's designed for close valves for amateur competitions, and they can run kind of nearly whatever layout they want, which is great. But it means that the likes of, and I think the whole idea really behind it is that it's not going to be an expensive way to get in drifting. So if you have a 323 BM or a 318 IS or an IS 200, which is, they probably looked at this and went, right lads, what's the common market? What do we have here? And they've said, okay, there's a lot of lads saying Lexuses and stuff. Well, can we bring them by? Because ultimately this track has to make them money. Let's be honest. So you make a track that for technical, for slower cars, for cars that don't have the legs to go for third unless you've 100 PSI in the tyres. It's a very wise decision in my head. You have the big track for going straight, for going fast. You have I suppose, the back track for good second/third gears. You can cog fourth in the main track if you're brave. Not me, but I'm sure the rest of them do. But
I can mind the time I done the experience down at Mandela. They were saying that eventually they'd like to have it where there was somewhere where they could go and do the experience and have like a third tier,
Yeah.
where you'd learn to, I suppose, essentially like corners and that.
yeah,
And I'm like, that is probably what they were on about.
yeah,
There.
I would say so. Second question from Jasper. How's the prep going for the long haul and slight upgrade done? Comfort maintenance? Nope and nope. How's the planning going? Nope. And do you face getting the support you hope for? Absolutely fucking yes. The support? Yes.
Are you
Absolutely.
looking forward to the drive?
Looking forward to the drive?
Yes.
Nope. And safe travels. See you in the road because we are going quite near to his.
How's so I'll answer. How's the prep going for the long haul? Well, I've got confirmation. Slight upgrade done for comfort. Thank you, Gareth, for spending more money on your tractor.
Yeah, you're just doing this for other people's money at this point.
No, I'm not. I'm just showing off other people's.
That's a good way.
Cool
of putting it.
toys.
That's a good way of helping yourself sleep at night. Yep.
How do you feel it's going to? How do you feel it's getting the sport? Blew away.
Yeah,
Genuinely
absolutely.
blew away. You're going through some hardship.
Fucking sure.
To be honest,
But there are boys that do this trip on 35s. There's a group of lads every year now. It takes them 5 days, but they do
Yeah,
Malin
yes.
to Muslin at 35s.
yeah, but they don't do it beside each other, John.
No. And as I said, 5 days. Not a day and a half.
Essentially,
At a similar speed. Because I'd say my 35 would probably go by my feet.
they would.
My wee 35 is a fucking rocket ship. I could say that it probably does 18 mile an hour. It just feels a lot faster.
That's because
the
no cab.
front wheels are like that all the time.
Your steering wheel is like that though in Fiat. It's very light.
Yeah, that's quite light. Yeah.
Dylan Jackson. How far will you get on the draw before thinking this wasn't a good idea? Well, I'll ask you that, Michael.
Well, Peter Finnegan says, I'm optimistic. I'd say Monaghan. I'd say if we get a Cookstown, we're doing well. Like, look, Fiat FM is great going through town. I'd say I'll come up Broad Street at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, this is fucking class. Hear this thing roar. And by the time I get through Cookstown Main Street and I'm stopping at the traffic lights, I'll just be like, oh, fuck this.
No, I think you'll probably be in Dungan. You'll be like, feels like forever.
Aye, look, here. There's a couple of wee things to sort. There is actually genuinely one or two things to sort, but I'll explain that further down the list. How many £1 million will it take to fuel the Fiat for a weekend?
She's actually
really good in juice. She's no different in the juice since the turbo went on her.
To be fair, I'd say it'll go this way. CB, the two ways we go on, you'll be chatting away for a while and I'll be like, shut the fuck up for a while. You'll be like,
I'll be more than happy to sit and listen to music for a while too.
You'll be ringing me through the radio, and you'll be like, you're not talking anymore for a while. And I'm like, I need a break.
I'd be more than happy to sit and listen to the radio for a while too. Don't worry about that. Conor McGowan, thank the Lord for this post. Now I know we're recording tonight.
Yes, if anybody wants to know why I said that, it's because the bugger wouldn't reply to me.
Yeah, you sent me a Snapchat. I didn't realise you'd sent me a Snapchat.
But I now get it. You don't get Snapchat, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably get a reply in the morning to say yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
If we're recording tomorrow night too.
Yeah.
So, Peter Greeny says, 1. Pedigree farming. Pick 3 beef and 3 dairy breeds. You sell the stock bulls, so no crossbreeding. Why are you picking them and rank them against the others?
Go you first.
Right.
But he said no crossbreeding. So there goes already my answers for the dairy.
I'll have it up like I see here, so don't judge me. 3 beef breeds. You'd pick Angus, Blue, and Limousine.
I would say 2 of your 3, yes. I would say instead of Limousine, or not Limousine, instead of Blue, I'd go for Charlie.
Angus, easy cabin. Limousine,
best money. And Charlie, best money.
And Blue, always have good calves.
I've never done well with Blues on the feet.
Look, I'll be perfectly honest here. I'm no absolute Einstein, so.
But what breeds do you see mainly around the country? Limousine, Angus,
I can't mind
Charlie.
if there's still an Angus, like a good payment for Angus, taking them to the factory or not. I don't know if the Angus scheme's still going or not.
I think there is.
I know. And then Limousine is like the most popular pedigree breed.
You'll always sell Limousine.
And then Blue, I suppose for your double muscled fancy show cattle. But then again, I'll be honest, don't know enough about the beef.
A pedigree Limousine will do as well as any of them. Same as a pedigree Charlie. A pedigree Charlie will bulk out to be absolutely incredible.
Don't know enough about it though to comment.
And your Angus is just a good, reliable animal.
The only problem though, I suppose, with a Limousine is there's so many with pedigree Limousines. They
still do well.
It'd be hard to win a show.
But you'll still get a good price at the market for them.
It's not so much that though. Whenever you're going pedigree, you're looking. It's the show ring. It sets your standard for your cattle, I suppose. So then, in regards to the dairy, you'd be Holstein Friesian, Jersey, and probably try Ayrshire.
So you're not crossbreeding. So I originally would have said one of the Norwegian breeds because you could, or a Flackvey, because you could breed an Angus with them and they wouldn't have the same dirty back end.
I'll take away the Ayrshire and go for Flackvey. So I would go.
But that kind of knows my argument there. So
my thinking behind that would be your Holstein Friesian will be a good sturdy cow.
Yep.
Probably last a bit longer than Holstein.
Yeah.
We bet your British Friesian obviously in her.
But does that technically count as a crossbreed?
You actually get pedigree Holstein Friesians now.
Okay, because there's so many years of breeding.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm only going by that because I've seen like Holstein Friesian societies. I go Jersey because ABC payment's been pushing everybody now.
Okay, yeah.
So your components, so
Yeah.
10% Jersey to 20% Jersey in there. You're going to have your better butterfat and protein. They're not going to milk as well, but
They're
still,
adorable looking.
they're wee fuckers. It's
They're
not
adorable.
genuine. They are wee fuckers. Of
But
cows.
you know what they say? The closer they are to the ground, the closer they are to hell. Same argument for Shetland ponies.
Dexters must be absolute wee cunts.
Yeah,
and then
probably.
at Fleckvy, because most of them, I hear them lasting really well. So like, you're sort of
You're looking for longevity nearly.
more or less something that doesn't give you baller.
I think you're absolutely 100% bang on now. There might be better stockmen than either me or you listening to this and going, well, actually, no, you're wrong. But I have to say, I think my dairy knowledge is limited. But
My beef knowledge is limited.
But I would have to say, I think you're absolutely bang on. The Holstein, there's a reason why the country's still farming them. As much as I hate the Holsteins from a beef buying perspective, because it ruins cattle, and I'm not planning ever on showing cattle.
How?
Fucking bony back end.
Oh, well, you're never going to show a fucking Holstein as a
No,
beef
but it
animal.
doesn't even do as well in the market because boys just see the bony back end and it puts them off. At least if it comes out of a
But
freeze.
a continental calf always does well.
Yeah, but if you get, that's what I mean. If you even get something out of if you get a limousine that comes out of a Fleckvy, it doesn't have that same fucking tall back end.
I was never going to.
But I'll do better than a Holstein animal of the same weight.
I will.
That's what I'm getting at.
All right, fair enough.
That's what I'm getting at. The Holstein, if you're buying, like, it's always a risk you take when you buy beef cattle off a dairyman. You're on the risk of buying probably, depending how big their herd is and what way they're putting them across.
Well, you'll know the shape of them as calves and all too. As well.
But you do run that risk. Well, depending on how young you're buying them, like, but you run that risk of
You'll
just
know
going.
a screw though from a good one.
Well, yeah, that's true. Shit, my phone screen went off. Hope that hasn't cancelled that.
Michael, you have to convert the 11090 into a pro pulling tractor. What engine would you swap into it? I think I know what you're going to say, but I don't know what you're going to say.
I don't know, because I love the 5.9 Evigo engine, and you can do good things with them. If you were going to go for bigger power onto a 110, I would still want to keep it somewhat in-house, so I would maybe look at the 7.5 litre Genesis engine found in 8970s, Fiat G240s and stuff like that there, and a big fuck off Borg Warner runner, and the Adrian Tugwell support pack / Alistair Cook support pack, and send it to the moon, hope for the best.
I'll join in on this.
Go.
So, an interesting conversation with Ryan Connery.
Yes.
And the sort of thing was, as he said, nobody really knows the limits of any of the bigger engines, you know, and the older tractors. For the shits and the giggles of it, I have money to burn. I'd love to stick a bigger turbo on a 6.7, 1.8S, and see what she takes.
So try and get like 280 out of a baby 4-cylinder. Well, they're the biggest of the 4-cylinders actually, but
Well, now you get a 5 litre 4-cylinder. So that's the new version, and it's rated up to, I think, 220, 230. Nicely.
but if it's
It's
220,
common rail as well, so it'll be interesting to see what it can actually take.
but is it a 230? It's like you wouldn't really want to push money more than that. If you're Ryan McMullen, you might be doing 260.
No, well, the 4.9 wouldn't be capable of that much. But it's even the fact of it would be interesting to see what they actually kaboom at. You know, because whenever you're going pro level, you're obviously putting bigger pistons on them.
bigger pistons, different fuel, diesel coolers, etc. Yeah.
Be interesting to see what they can do, and common rail as well. So,
Well, if you had money to burn, as you say, you'd just buy a well broken in 6.718 and just go.
wonder what they theoretically could do.
Wouldn't even know what to tell you.
Like, because that was one thing I was saying then, Ryan, is this engine technically like an engine you would have got years ago in 120 horse or 110, and because of fueling technology and the common rail and everything like that, is it just the fact that they're now sort of putting that engine to its potential.
Very possibly, yeah.
Because like torque is very similar to a 6-cylinder.
Well, you look at like all the older, I'll give you 3 examples of 5.9 6-cylinder engine. 1, 3650, so Bambi. 2, 6 BT Cummins, so 5.9, same engine you would get in the old MX 110s and stuff like that, and obviously Dodge Ram trucks. And 3, the Iveco, same engine as what I have. And you're getting, out of a 4.9, you're getting 200 horse, alright, and that's in a 4-cylinder. So with modern day technology, say common rail, etc., what would you be getting through them 5.9s now? Probably a right bit more, like, with better turbos and better mapping and all that there, instead of just all or nothing.
It is really interesting. Like, one conversation there with part of the conversation with Con Tenney at the polling thing, or at BRM's Rev It Up, he was saying the chaser he has is running a Garrett, like modern day turbo.
Okay.
She's something 600.
Must be like a G30 660 or something like that there.
Something along those.
Yeah.
He says she's spilling from 1800 RPM.
It could be the same turbo as mine. G25 660.
And
Night Ride put the same turbo.
She's basically running, like, he said, it's not like boom, it's just you have power and she just pulls away. I think she's either 400 or 500 horse.
Then she'll probably be running the same turbo as me. Night Ride put a G20.
She's twin scroll turbines and all that, or she's a, what do you call them there? Twin scroll?
Aye, twin scroll, just twin scroll turbo. Aye. If she has the manifold set up for it correctly, though, because you have to do different things with the manifolds and all if you want them to work properly. But
he just said he spent a lot of money on the turbo, but it works really well. Like Lloyd, when he mapped it, just went.
See, Night Ride put a G25 660 in their JZX90, and they had this big ignorant Garrett on it originally, and then they put that one on. So I don't know if you watch much Night Ride, but they done it for the Matsuri at Ibisu this year, and it completely changed the car. So they had a really fucking laggy turbo one that they had to sit and fucking kick the shit out of before it would slide properly, and now they can literally blip. So you can blip with my car and it still boosts. Like, I'm boosting from 2300 RPM, so if he's boosting from 18,
Aye, but 6-cylinder versus 4,
correct,
you have more exhaust gases.
exactly.
To
So if
spill
he's
it.
boosting from 18, it's probably the same turbo, and he's probably got an incredibly reliable 450, probably from the same turbo as me. So it's lively on my car. It's probably a dream to drive in his. There'll be no slap across the face reaction. It'll just go, and it'll just work. So, fair play. Eamon Dempsey, what's the biggest worry or fear for the longest draw? What excites you the most about it?
The biggest worry is your stress levels.
My biggest worry is turning the tractor off and her not starting again with some weird or wonderful electrical fault.
I have never drove a TN. So
Is your range command or per command?
Range.
Handy driven. Have you driven a 6715 Massey?
Yes.
Well, then you can drive a TM.
Oh no, I know that. Obviously, I have sat in the seat and steered the wheel before.
It's not your tractor. It's not your own tractor.
But that's the other thing.
So naturally, you are going to be worried about that. As I say, mine is literally, there's a fuse number 3 across, which is my wipers, my heater, and my CB radio. Fate fuses are wild for.
You will be bringing spares.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be bringing spares.
What excites you most about it? 3 days of fucking crack.
It's going to be savage crack. Like, it will be good. And look, even
leave your hair alone, Michael.
Some edges.
Oh, fair enough. That hat helps it. To be
even
fair.
even if the worst comes to the worst and she can't continue, she'll be getting brought down the road on the trailer.
Have you some sort out for that?
Soon Philip was helping us.
Oh, okay.
One way or another, we'll do
I'd be like, I can go 40k now.
Or Falvey or someone. Well, Jeremy actually answered that on your behalf and just said Connor meeting the major and the single chop again, take 2.
Oh, you're clearly doing this on Relevant. I've went to all comments.
Oh,
So next is Chris Milligan says thoughts on the new Drift movie with so Han Sung Kang is doing
Sun Kangsta. This is Insta. It's class.
he's doing a movie.
Dave Vegan's in it.
Drift Games in it.
It's just kind of all the real YouTubers, isn't it? Like Animal Z, you know. I was surprised to see Jimmy Oakes wasn't on it.
To be honest, like I love the idea and hope it's good. But you need at least some of the Irish in it because no offence, the Irish are dominating.
Well, that's why he has Drift Games involved.
You know, I hope you have like James Dean and
I would say James Dean will be in it. There's not a chance James Dean could not be in it.
You know, so hopefully he's in it. Or not, I just hope it's fucking good.
I think, depending on the style they go for, I just hope it's not too American. Drama over nothing.
Like, it'd be really fucking cool if it was in the streets of LA and there was a wee bit of.
But is it not supposed to be more of a documentary style thing?
I literally didn't even know this was a thing, and then seeing that come on, oh my god, I need to Google this. So, didn't even know it was a thing until I seen that comment.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Alright. I wouldn't say I know much more about it than you, but I think it's a more documentary style kind of thing. Now, I could be wrong, but you're not going to put them.
It was a documentary. Like, I'd love, what do you call that movie where the Subaru takes on the Mustang in the drag racing? Oh, Born to Race? If they did like a Born to Race, only with a bit more money behind it. A bit more money behind it, obviously. And it was about drifting. That'd be cool.
I haven't seen Born to Race.
So basically, it's a YouTube video. It's a very low budget movie about drag racing.
Alright.
There's a wee bit of a story behind it. A wee 4-pot Subaru versus obviously a Mustang. 2 families, 2 tuning companies. One is a lot more money to throw at it, but they don't always win. And then, you know, like that'd be cool. Born to Race 2 was shot. Well, it was not shot on a potato, but as a potato movie.
Fair enough.
They couldn't even afford the actor from the first movie, so they got a new actor.
Oh wow!
They probably did it in their budget.
Yeah,
which is
losing money. Fair enough. that makes sense actually. Michael Maley, sorry. Have you discussed the legalities of running red diesel when you cross the border at Auchnacloy and the customs ask you for a PPS number? And have you any property in the south? And why are you heading for Cork? Aye. Well, we're being sponsored. There's a high chance it'll actually be clear.
Aye.
So.
Aye.
Fuck me.
Jesus.
Do you want to do the odd numbers and I'll do the even numbers? Jeremy Holland. 9 questions and these 2 more coming up. You do that.
Oh shit! I only screenshot as far as 7. I'll do up to 6, sure.
Right. Okay.
Is it cash or card? Paying my mommy for accommodation.
Charlie donation.
Aye. What are you drinking? Cans, ways, pub later on for a top up.
Whatever's there.
Aye. All followers of the page are welcome to the art.
You're going to regret saying that.
Depend on the time of day, evening. You could do a share of silage my place.
Vietnam flashbacks for Connor.
No shafts were harmed in this comment. Sunday morning fry as a go.
Good man.
Number 6 will not be said. We do not want to be cancelled. Aye.
7. Are you staying on for the after party on Sunday night? No, I can't. You can. I can't. I have to get back up the road for Marty's wedding plans.
You're my fucking left, so aye.
Okay, well then that's you as well.
Well, I don't know.
8. How many weeks do I get to keep your gear in my yard before we get them lifted? Depends how on the ball Phil Kenna wants to be. It is completely at his mercy. But I would say probably between if I get the bales in this week, I'll put out the fertiliser. And as long as I've Mary to earn about the yard, I'll be happy enough. So to answer your question for number 9, is Mary coming? No, she's staying fucking here. She's never going back.
He might get her fucking going on the way to Cork, but not get her stopped.
I do actually have the high-low cable I need to put into here as well for the speeds. I suppose I actually never talked about it in the What's New, but I got Mary going again.
Aye.
So she now has hydraulics and brakes. For how long, we'll see, but they're working for now.
Aye. Is there more?
Aye, there is. Peter Finnegan, any plans, preparations or modifications done for the longest draw?
Plans, I asked someone. Preparations, Sam Cole is sorting it out. Modifications, Sam Cole is sorting it out.
For me, plans, I will probably need to figure that out over the next couple of days. Preparations, yes. One of the key things I actually really do need in my tractor is a battery tray. My battery bounces about a lot, and I can see my lights flickering. So, yeah, I have plans to get a battery tray in it, and if they can't do it, I will try and somehow shoehorn in one myself. It means taking the whole front nose cone off the tractor, but I mean, it's not the biggest job.
You'll be bringing a spares package of fiddly bits.
There'll be a second battery, clamps, all that there. Come with us anyway, like so. And then Jeremy Holland again. 10. Is there a mixed trip available for the trip down? Mixed tape was the fashion in the 11090 I used to draw grass with. You had one chance to pick the volume in that old bastard, and that was it for the day. No doubt Scullin has a Spotify playlist. I actually do have a playlist called The Good Old Days, but it's all like big room house from like 2010 to 2015.
If
just
Sam's listening now, is there a radio? Because I don't know.
That'll just be me playing my radio through the
It'll be me in the AirPods being like, ew.
Which probably is. Should be. TM be quiet enough, like.
I suppose the only downside of a TM is no sunroof.
Oh, aye. That's right.
But the side window will be open.
I forgot the
Can
TM.
they either confirm or deny if you would maybe go on top gear and lag her off and get a wee bit of black smoke out?
I used to do that in the 150. And then I blew the boost pipe off.
I'd not be trying to do that. Empty trailer, I suppose.
This was with a full load. I had to remark how well the 150 was going, because the 150 typically never really went that overly well. Because she's power command, which meant that she sapped all the life out of the engine. Because they reckon power command loses 20 or 30 horsepower. Yeah, it saps the life out of them. So you would hear boys talking about, my range command TM 150, I just come to the hill and I only had to drop 2 gears, and someone else turns around and goes, well, I only had to drop 1 gear, and I'm like looking at it going, I dropped 6.
I dropped them all.
I'm literally, there's one hill heading actually up towards Darnmullins from Donald's, and you come up it, and like, I was down in gear 8, which is what, B3?
Wow.
Bearing in mind C6 is top. So like, yeah, you were literally like, fucking hell. So what was that? 8? Oh no, 10 gears. Dropped 10 gears. Aye. So, but I remember prior to that, I had a silage trailer very similar to the one I own now on the back of the 150, and her full of second cut grass. And I thought I was the boyo. I come to this hill and I was like, jeez, this thing's going unreal. I haven't even had to drop a gear going the whole way up. And the next load out, no silage trailer on. Or no load in the silage trailer. Just come out the road and suddenly the biggest puff of black smoke you ever seen. And I went, oh shit. And the next thing, she just started getting very warm, and I was like, oh dear, what's this? Popped the bonnet, pulled in, side of the road. And literally the boost pipe was like gonzo. And I was like, shit. So yeah,
that was the end of that evening's activities.
Well, Donald didn't even put a proper boost pipe on it, and he just put like Kit Kat film round the inside of the silicon pipe that attaches the boost pipe to where it goes into the inlet, and it's still been like that, and that was done 11 years ago.
Well, hopefully everyone has a better idea of our big draw.
You now know literally as much as we do
at the moment.
Aye.
As it's released, I hope we know more.
Sunday, so
we need to, yeah. Special thanks to Stephen today from coming from the BRM Group to discuss about Revvv It Up. Genuinely an amazing event. It was a pleasure to go up and be able to cover a bit of it. And
yeah, you got driver access and all too, which was good.
And it was genuinely just a brilliant day, and probably realistically just a stepping stone to what could become next year.
What's going to happen in the next 5 years with that event is, I hope it maintains the main focus of tractor pulling.
Just before saying more as well, just a side note, the way it was marshalled and everything was to a T.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything was thought of. Getting out and all, you were out quick.
Yep.
It helped that the ground was probably in great shape, you know.
Correct.
I was in a field instead of the stoned area, you know. Like I couldn't really fault it at all. To be fair to you.
There's only like 500 million ton of stone in the ground. Like, as for the socials, we're at limit slip differences on absolutely everything. If you want to follow me on the socials, it's at Michael Scullin _ on everything bar Snapchat, which is just M Scullin. Connor, you are
Connor.McGoo and all
on absolutely everything. Not as late tonight, thank fuck.
We'll probably yarn for a wee bit more, but that a wee bit more at that.
It's not going to be on the podcast, so
Fuck you.
see you later, folks. Best of luck.
Bye bye.